Asaasepa.
Nkejeme ubadwo twengme.
Follow who no road.
Onye Igbeson 247. Onye
Asaasepa.
Minyamumpo.
107.3.
Asaasepa no. Asaasepa no.
Ghana di shimamba bono nsia ha ya Asaasepa ha ne so akiri pom yensa ensama wodo mantam di nsia ni ninamu ne yakwa wana samufo panyin wanya brani adaje timi aso krogin na magye pinim beso msa nwume no nsia kan kase bo enne eye wagefo boso bi da toso miyensa mfimpimienu ene aduonu no nsama wodo asisi o mantam di nsia ni ninamu no ene magye pinim ne beso na kase mu dentini ya boni ni na hankan kro de www.asasewede.com ye hono Ubetimanya bia kenkan brofo kase mo shane so me se Facebook, YouTube, Instagram ne TikTok, X ne demo hono live. Do one way Asaasepa 107.3. Asaasepa 107.3 na wadwe nkyira fa so de mame. Facebook no demo hono mo ne so live, TikTok no ubetimanya bi ahwe hono mo. WhatsApp number ni 057 777 1073 057 777 1073 so the first one. Making kanini na ediamo eye WhatsApp number and a text message prepare kratwo no yinto one wo the first one so making kanini na kama pa ediama wo and some would one na wia enwumere yi maje pene na mbeso me say enwume no nsia kan kase bo Asaasepa ha ne so akiri pom yensa no de bedi mu ahye mfre bia betene se enne ya babeto gya kire se enwumere ya ka kwanhia bia si ama emunam so nipa ba komienum yensa sisi am no kasei wa motebia no aka mo ho no yensa pe ewo ho ne potemu yede mu nkyire mu bebrɛwo na ene ya bagekwa yate se omgo hwe ntoko esi ye o my God ma se bejefie mu na otwetwa mu no wa mo kyerɛ se abagekwa no ayese se bio ya betata amanfo wa mo de bɔse ade akwa mampanyifo emu nkyire mu hanom a yede besom wo NDNP pa magekwa no manhye bejefie ba abonte wa mo kyerɛ se hwe ehunahuna bi amanfo ahye ase hunahuna wo mo se wo dodo no suade nanso ehunahuna bie ni wono betimi abɔ mu hu o my God ma se bejefie mu a enti mo mu ndi wo mudwuma emu so nkyire mu hanom a yede besom wo na NP pa magekwa na san de krata ba abonten ya so hwe emfa wo ne de speaker beka yen de bekoso yen enoa ne ye beye wo mo se hwe emna se bejafo ne ya twe masensa monko ye adwuma enso man Ghana enkran pumpuni mantem so afo ma Melinda Akwelo wokulu ba abonten kire se yenkran yate de nyini na ne se sa street light awodo enkanea edi anadwa eso hiren ya isi am no gasai aye foe no wasin the fuwa por aduonu 50 days pe wo ya no mpotema wo tia street adin adwuma no bomade na bra bonten ye be fixe de amawo we ya sempa mami edi atodwa na Ghana fo akasa fa ho ensem wani afoforo bia edi candidate bi awrehosem ebi nso yafutusem ene je de ewom ena afa amanyosem so mu a maje penie ebe be so mu Asaasepa wani so akiri pom yensa ideal 96.7 gia petema yafo a wo mo emfimfiri mantem hono nyina so atimanya bi atie akokuraba nyako abro no mani midin yenyibre na kase ntutu na basa ne sere ema wo
107.3
Asaasepa no.
Ebusia wadama anse na be hya ase ne bomoden a na tuturmirika ebra Facebook sesi yetanse awrawusam wasi na nwumre ya ewo ho ne mpotemu wadama ebi wo hono na wo de hye ene wa kwakofa mu woni pa bi da bia ka kwanhye akwakofa no oba Facebook ya Asaasepa 107.3 Asaasepa 107.3 na hwedi din ubehunu se me de hye no okra me no ono na yesi am no kasa wakonya ka kwanhye na ebusia yenhye kase na se aba beto gya kire se ena nwumre ya ana ya afọ wo ho ye no no wo eye framantam mu wom so mudi wom dwuma saa ana mu ane se ka bia te praga agimro wo bi mro pa ebusia ana se na da de na sie ade wo komo kire na ena nso ye fieda ena ye dwoada ene obi mro ebusia ene abobo ye bi kiu na die hie mu amunum wa na manfo wo titi mu no ebusia wɔma to mum na oba Facebook a efoni ni gu hɔ no mu ɛyɛ awerɛho paa ɛdan sɛ amanfo eprepra na ɛhyɛ sɛ dia mmɔmmɔ ne adeɛ paa abusua ba hɔ no mu a YouTube ni Asaasepa 107.3 na ensem wenchire mu yamane boni Solomon ahiablɛ wɔn na odi sansem ya kyire a wɔde mu nkɔmɔ ɛbrɛ yɛn solo wadama wotemi ka maajo
mejo so menia
ayra wusem yi brɛ pɔte ɛna esi yɛ nnɛ wobɛhu sɛ video na da Facebook ni YouTube no amanfo de da hɔ no mu a emogya pram wɔ mo boy enchire mu.
All right, so between the hour of 3:30 to 4 p.m., we seek the information that there was an incident around whole flash dancing leading to the National Communication Authority office. Getting to the scene, we realized that there was a pickup with registration number GJ 3226-21. GJ 3226-1 collided with an oncoming Kandu. As at the time, the Kandu driver, 6 students from Kabuli School, which is also closer to the National Communication Authority office. Trying to gather information from the eyewitnesses, they mentioned that one Kandu driver who I spoke with told me that when he was coming from the town, which is the whole township, he saw the pickup top speed. Without knowing what exactly he was doing, he veered off the street at a point and then came back to a normal position on the street. So the second time he veered off the road was when he knocked the Kandu driver, the passengers on board, together with a woman who was also in the Kandu, leading to a head death. So the woman who died, we are yet to identify this particular woman. But as we speak, 4 students, including the Kandu driver, were taken to the hospital. And information we got some few minutes ago indicates that they are in a critical condition, especially the Kandu driver and 2 other students are in a critical condition.
So wadama jina ho kakra. Nipa 4 and 9 a mu ye school for ni ade na isia no kase omo hokoka mu.
Yeah, the students are 4. With the woman. The woman, she died on the spot, and the Kandu driver is also in a critical condition at the whole teaching hospital as we speak. Some of the students were also taken to the whole municipal hospital. There was some were taken to the whole teaching hospital. We want to also try to speak with the school authorities. They have indicated that this is not the first time this is happening today. It happened before, and they appeal to the authorities to speak with the drivers because the speed they use on that stretch of the road is not very good. They try to speak with the authorities, but they have not done anything about it. So they are appealing to the high authority and the stakeholders within the whole municipality to ensure that, if possible, they can erect a speed bump close to the junction of the school. That will go a long way to save lives of the students that fly that stretch of the road. So the driver, after knocking the Kandu, entered into a shop also close to the roadside, and this led to the whole thing that happened this afternoon.
Solo enti sabre no teacher fo no wamo adesredi saying
for the teachers, as I mentioned earlier, they are saying, going back a bit, let me take you back a bit. You look at any time students close from Kabuli School, between 3:30 to 4, thereabout, when you find that you see a lot of students on the street waiting for whoever their drivers are to come and pick them alongside the street. It is very, very dangerous for students, children to be walking on the street without any guidance, without any policeman guiding them. It is something many people are concerned about. So I tried to speak with the school authority. They mentioned that earlier they have done a lot of engagement with the stakeholders to ensure that a speed ramp is constructed alongside the stretch of the school, which is the school junction. But they have not done that. There was one before the asphalt came to clear it off, but they are still appealing. All that they can say as a school authority is that they are appealing to the authorities to ensure that they construct a new school ramp to save lives of the students. I spoke with some parents who have their wards in the same school. They mentioned that, yes, some of them, they have the fear that the life of their students or their wards are not safe, because most of the times when they come to Pigeon, they are all around the school, walking on the street without any guidance, without any teacher guiding them, and it's a concern to them. So this that happened today, it is an opportunity for them to appeal again for a school ramp to be constructed.
Solo, Asaasepa na nyumrewai.
Thank you. So we are following up. Anything that happens afterwards, we will inform the public about it, especially those in a critical condition.
Abusia, Yamadi Boni Solomon and Hiable, na Brofocasa Nina, no Quaco, yes, a car when she si, ewo ho. Yeah, no, from Manton, Abusiaba Facebook, YouTube. They say I'm for any YouTube, I bet when you be a na. Mamma da hona yara wop obatan. Any school for Mwako can YouTube ni Asaasepa 107.3 Asaasepa 107.3. Na Solomon Bonini na Teresa Mameno, yes, Yamano Casawada Honomoa. And quite nini moa, why yet Tiase wono, wahunu. Sama men on your school for me, no ye kahum. Any way yano no cheese, I will cut out say, Mahama can do no. On sa pragia praganki 20 bino. 119 and a Samano Casay. Safoni no Mwaka. What do I call Asaasepa and watch it says a teacher for no. Rata say a bayan campaign for Motia, Emra. Na speed ramp said a baya. Sashi Tim Cree, Timna Cos was some bottom hormone. Ebet me, a Chan good teacher for no other ready be, na Fiamra CCA.
Yes, seriously to speak, as a teacher, Kabori JT, the way drivers use this road sometimes is appalling. There is no single speed ramps here, so this is not the first time this is happening. Last time there was the same thing, but we thank God that the victims are alive. The way they use the road, so we are pleading for what? A speed ramp. In the morning we see police were directing the cars, but afternoon there is nothing like that.
Okay. Have you been able to identify some of your students involved?
Actually, I was in class when one of the learners rushed to me in the class that there is an accident at the junction. So they said one of the students' exercise book was identified, called Afram, Form 1A.
107.3.
Usia, and to where you decided a teacher for was some bottom honomo. And it's and pay for said your car when she see and they mammy back one can jumpo. What an animal said, yes, who go for us what can one. Woman now walk care German Samano Cassin, what's the Sabaya, and pay for what ya, not said dear Baya. Saka when she be been and pimping a test who wouldn't put a mono. You bet to a church and in now. Young Flyer was saying enough for young Kwame and Samuka Krana, a month for Becca, no church and no theatre, and a right honorable Aban. Someone I can sort back in Babu and tame, I said a few more Guasatran. Watch it, sir, and no Bonibia Corso and on what time. Now, Matuto to Rashabia 40 beyond and I said, put 1 year bomb this mayor as Waffle. Oh, my gun had yet to one more uncle, we pay and rich. Now, I got an into my gun and Rashabia few mono. Now, the Padia would also my gunner, since Katuchi, yet about brand and Rashabia phone from honorable for about time. Eddie Moon, and woman Tepidam, Kunyani, and what was saying, Nana now saw right honorable Aban, someone against what Pagman, Rashabia film Chamahine. Oba and chess one of the whatever you cool. I be a quality of good yen and some question, no way, piano and who boom. Yet matching as a pure time, your product with enough of Braquas, said a baby and a Eddie Amafofro. Nana committee, no tea, or Tessa, Emmanuel Bedra, one on your whole West Rush of your knee. One on over down to set to train enough and show French won't be a piano. Et me about one train out from whom say, why you was a message of Benti, one and who boom ya. What's your major party and internal so and to quality to buy? And then tear cross, yes, I brought no sound to quality and obi for children, and near a friend said, Gavin, come here with young Crawford, and in the Fiamma Poncrophone. Ah, no, I saw Kunano say, and somebody more. Yes, the Bama, who was someone me and tree, you say, hey, Obia, my dear. I was your Facebook at the home. Said an idea and Quabrani was a table once here. No, yes, I need another YouTube. I Asaasepa 107.3. Now, then, the committee, no. Aban so mana kenzo agba bente no wo kire se eho be yia se neda yia no mo hye ase no wetima ye mo hwehwe mu na tribo pawo do mo de sa committee etimi aba no sere be ya enkonkoba se yere sobo bu obi a wo ya no se biebru se benya do bi do akire no na wo ya no ho so hu sa abrobe na committee ni tetere ni eye ho esmra se bedwani Emmanuel Bejira wo tena simpie ni apaso ji agese mo no se mo ya de pa se mo te committee na mo woni de committee ni ya ten enye se wo de behunahuna obi a amanfo bi keka se o we committee ya te a ye de behunahuna MP fa magekuo no na afa yetimi aboa se be ya wo de mo hu bo mu bia yetimi atwe mo aso mo ko tena fi ena Emmanuel Bejira kire se woni de committee no ya te no no da no enye committee ya de behunahuna amanfo na mmom no wo me hwem frenchim emene timi aboa se da be ya wo ya bia no a wo information asem bi e fa sa antoko na esi ya o my god mara fie ho mo no wo so betimi aba abonte na wetimi akire de wo hu ye se da betimi aboa e ma hwem frenchim no mo hwe ni mu no e betimi akoso yie.
The committee have decided that we will solicit the service of a forensic expert from the Ghana Police Service to assist with the authentication and analysis and validation of any multimedia evidence that will be received from the witness. Starting from this morning or this afternoon, we will start viewing some of the video evidences that Parliament has. The committee will also provide opportunity for in-camera, in-case hearing for a person who may wish to utilize such an avenue to provide useful evidence to assist the committee. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our hope that all citizens will stand with Parliament of Ghana in this trying moment to assist in rebuilding our enviable democratic attributes as we undertake to execute this task. We would like to place on record that it is not part of its job to target or witch hunt anyone. And I want to repeat it. We are not here to witch hunt any of our colleagues or members of Parliament. This work is to look for evidence of any member of Parliament who may have flouted the rules of engagement in this House. Hence, we are appealing to all and sundry to volunteer information that will help bring a lasting peace and collaborative spirit into the work of not only the appointment committee, but ultimately to the entire House of Parliament.
Na enwa kire na Emmanuel Bejira committee ni chairman wasan gina dwemu esre Ghana ni bia no asa abre no na ekoso no wo hwe Asaasepa Facebook live no wonu de ehuru bia no ya no evidence ensunsanso ene nsankyerani ene nsama hodo ekoso ni nyina no wo mu nim de bia no wo mra bonten no wo ya ne ntim fama to de se betima aboa ma committee ni dwumadi ombo die no ene so betima tumpo akono mi kese pa no kire se wo bia no wo ye krato so wetimi aboa committee ni dwumadi ombo die no wo ya no se obesa odi tudwa ene wa na odi udi betudwa wo mpese edi udi betudwa nso a ye be ne kata so mu aso sa se betima aboa ema committee no dwumadi omudie no enso betima tumpo akono mi ye pa wo kire se wo bia no ho bomu no wo munya yerehwemu e wo committee no se wo ne de wo mama mra no atima ya adwuma kese pa.
Parliament has been very helpful, and we are thankful for your continuous support in this direction. Fellow citizens, you are all aware that on Friday, the 30th of January 2025, the Right Honourable Speaker constituted this committee to look into the unfortunate incident that occurred on Thursday, 30th January, and the morning of Friday, 31st January, at the vetting committee sitting. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that the Right Honourable Speaker gave this committee a very short period of time, only 10 days, to submit its report on the unfortunate incident. Considering the urgency with which we are to work and present our report, we have decided to outline the modalities and rules of engagement relative to the committee's work. Firstly, and by way of emphasis of our job, we are to conduct a full-scale investigation into the event of Thursday, 30th January, and the morning of 31st January. 2, identify all members involved in the disorder and submit a report with findings and recommendations. To do this, the committee wishes to announce that we have decided to hold a public hearing of all the issues starting from Wednesday here in Parliament House at 10 a.m. prompt. We shall expect members of Parliament, the media, the guests who were present at the vetting room, as well as members of the general public, to voluntarily appear to assist the committee with the relevant information on the incident.
Abusia, when your committee, Abajokwa Yatia, Yeba said a Yambra Sebecoso and Anwa Tamra, Sebaja few when I'm so my for Benano, SS or my Japadia did Juma or my message of a few hormone. And I said the committee on Matiano. One way we said a bay and that memory quadam poepe. One way to me, I did our committee Nina Susan Sonia Tenia to me, I shall say, said a bit my boy. Emma and you French, so at me, I couldn't manubri and a committee in Chamine. Tetrani, Emmanuel Bajra, who was Massive Journey, what do you want the body winch Musu at me upon?
3.
Asaasepa no.
Was where it was as Macas and General my gun, I'm not sure film hormone, and no, and another day, and don't come over my gun, a film or a bab one train. One much less so propose, Bembe who know who never says, about you so and use aqua. A camera send Massivia for no, one of we end this among your corner, any speaker, your wine. Oma cabbage muso war any aba and one movie did maybe said by Yamasa few one and people may you corner as as one would do on send no more a poor when you go on a fay or go to where none and name Rasavia fear no and people may you corner what about one tell much as a share one dear one would do on the now so Diba come that Thomas said they are happy minded few one was dear now so to mean as so papa Robert just Rasavia fear the aircon and yes of your numbers and I said Pomodua. Edro so na eche se dwumadi amadi o mahye be fie betimi akọ na mbom no se dia mo betimi aka mo nsam yie na etimi atumpo akọ no se hono no se bia eburu se benya adro eyemra ne eka enye nipadom ene ede kwam ye no na etimi abo hono mo na no na nei mra se bia fie ndo kuma no ba ne Danny Alexander Kwame na afanyo maken wogina simpie ne apostle friends am twefo nhiem no okyere se hwe wone de se hunahuna na wahu bia agyan he efisha pop do mienu no din sie ne oba mran ma se fie mu wahu bi pen wakọ opposition da e na oba government mu e na so kọ opposition he de andi sama yekọ no be ye bia wahu bi pen enti de omo sha se ayo no won kan hu ni se won no Alexander Kwame na afanyo mark we be mamu won ye mpipa ma yekọ no a wo mo man Ghana mra se be fie mu hunahuna bia no obeti ma mo aboto eni enti de omo ye no wo mo sha se no munya anye sa de a
even where there is punishment, our rules are clear. It can be for 4 days, 8 days, or 12 days, according to Order 130. Can a judge shoot a thief on the streets merely because it is viewed that the person has stolen without taking him through the process of evidence gathering? What becomes of the old saying that if all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must be proven? Well, on our part, we believe that though we disagree with Mr. Speaker, out of deference to him, we must still engage him, and we would engage him. In fact, we started this engagement over the weekend. The majority leader and my good self had extensive discussions. He elected to reach out to Mr. Speaker and get back to me. I tried to reach out to Mr. Speaker. I wasn't successful. But we want to say this with emphasis. This mighty few, this happy few, will not allow itself to be intimidated. We will never surrender to any intimidation. All the issues that are being thrown at us are aimed at cowing us. None of it will work.
And what Chen Alexander Kwame na fanyo mark Sanchez wonu tie said ye tie no saa no be kan pepe penambo mu no ehunahuna no a wo mo de afa right honorable Aban so mana cancel bad ben so ani ntire wa hye ase a why one watch mmarahyɛ badwafie no bi a ɔmo NP pamanyɔkuo no ase ɛsensan sɛ mmiɛnsa ɛnkɔ fie nkɔtena sɛ da bɛn na ɔtwe mmienu wɔn nso ɔman Ghana mmarahyɛ badwafie wɔ kyerɛ sɛ wɔne deɛ sɛ gyinasie no wɔn mmɔden a na ɔmo ne party NP pamanyɔkuo no tim akasa na gyinasie bi no party ni bɛka no ɛno ɛna ɔmo di soɔ.
We are also careful in how to approach it. We want to be sure exactly what Mr. Speaker meant. But in substance, he's taking actions that have affected the rights of our colleagues in Parliament. And we believe that the right thing to do is to grant these affected members hearing. We have also taken the matter up. We have escalated the matter to our party level. MPP Minority Caucus is a wing of the MPP in Parliament. So we have also communicated this matter to party headquarters. The national chairman, the general secretary, and the national executives have become aware of this, and they take the matter seriously. They are not taking it lightly at all. They believe that the diplomatic channels must remain open.
When Alexander Kwame Nafanyo Markin, Mrasabi Film Dom Kumana Pani, then on Quena Jam say a year, Mrasabi no Jam addition a foot over to Peswazo. And on the side seminar to Jabran, no friends and Jeffrey Shimu, our my Ghana Mrasabi Fimo. Then we're telling a Justin from Ponko, you want your treasure for penny, Edima and people Amajukuno. One is go PM once and Jeffrey Shim Nibin or Chesahay. The annual question and Famra Quanson, a Saho. Sir Alban, Sumanakins or Bagman, one will be any so friend is Amajukumo. And to the oil in an obian in Pefe Sapano, a Yandy Samajukuno Juma dear, woman that she go up Ponsono. I don't know what I said, didn't crack and Entino. What best I say, Rasibia for me and yes, Yamano Casay. Yacho Masias sign where? Emobian fee, one woman feet to do, one got from my Ghana Massive, one couldn't do my answer. They are upon ye, and Famra Quanso and in the Justin from Pon could you say, Obia and Concord in the Juma. Now, if one Pembra, Quayan, what my father said, Genesinua, Alban, someone against what bag will see, what bet me as a son of Jane.
And it's something that we will not even waste our time to give credence to. Seven, Speaker, what the party, what the Parliament, and just on a shame now Parliament. Sagana Constitution, can Speaker 2 minutes or 2 suspending the power, Constitution never can one standing orders of Parliament, and must Speaker 2 minutes or 2 suspending for what? Castano orders in the camp. Can maybe start to do or and a can mass out to me now, Quebec. Parliament or more almost stand orders. HSS will be at the only committees of privileges and immunities. And I'm one of the share no taking decisions, Zabia, your Maya, and senior from Fasua. They are about a plenary, no matter taking side decision. It's a now trust a policy. It's a Chinese speaker who will back, not to wash your man. Or that's a walk over once, Sadia for suspension 3 weeks. Is that how I speak away? It's here as a party. We have directed our members of parliament, say, ideas we cannot come, Momusu, and not don't play Tampuri, Deliamed, or Mako Parliament of Koyeduma. Also, Momunia Duma, the party no will advise ourselves.
107.3.
Wey Justin from Ponkodia, one on your church for Penny Dima and P.P. Amanukuan another year. Oh my God, I'm not a few months and Jeff in Shimu Koswa, one also could be another in some echo 2 Eja.
107.3.
Asaasepa no.
Monsieur and Grandpa Pudiman to one of the idea about quite a year hipa. And it's a natural. What shall I say? I throw shame, then he was on Honomono. And Kanye came pop when it says Ankanyano, a bit me also. Et me require the ama one san can in an ebony prasa toya. Nebatrini a wefrinimu. Nanu and they and Crambo Punimantum swore for a uniform crowd. Mamma Linda Quello crew. About pointing at this one, Dihuna, go bet him the Yabu and Punimantum. Nanu not just one of the idea about position in Nano. Nayan Yapa, and it's a waffle shame. Now he and Kakana much matter for us on Hey, Obabuani. Light post is Wobaby, Nanso Bobono, Baku Crampo. Saman for ne wiaw senu so yakokotwa homam senu so bob no hye na ahye obi ntimi hu enkan kran se wonam eye friend sen poku ase of anko highway no so aba besi achimota traffic light ne ye friend sen street light na gugu hono no Esinsu bebre na so bekon enum pe na ye adwuma. Ene wo ya no wo twi sen. Na kwabra ne etwi sen de hia wo no to light no to animu a ahwe wo break. Wo break so ahwe ye de onyi no achi bo se pan. Na no ne nkramopuni mantam so afo che se woni de wa bedi akonwan. Se mantam so afo na de ba ko wo hwe ni so betima ye se enefo por aduonu 50 days pe. Ye da ye ne na se bosom ba ko eni nefo aduonu 1 month 20 days pe ma mi gire se he enkra hanum ba bibia woteme nka ya wo street light no enya adwuma adunu mfefefo no bomode a na nya wotoso ne aresemu se maami wo be fix ni nyina amani atima ye adwuma my Ghana hanum enkan kra hanum maami gire se na niso adunu kase pa eni se nka opuni mantam nka ne betima gina so hyen eni wo ya no wote wiem hyemu a wonam wiem obum se he street light no eguo bebre na makro no mu aye fe amani pabone nso so ate wo my Ghana hanum se na be ye beboa ema wo ya no wutwe hyen kra bona se be buru wani kura mpo no tima kakra to so a wo betima nya awerehemu atimi atwe hyen ya enkwa nkonya ka akwanhia ma melendo ogulu kire se wo ye wani a e betima boa kase pa ema nkran hanum so yanka ne ensem ene accident awodo no ye tesisi no ye betimi aso anokura wo de sansem ni na tudwa na ene kopie mu e wa Accra Metropolitan Assembly ya am important hono mo wo kire se woni de wa ye kra de so ba soma nkran puri mantam mu our mantam so tiba tumpon akwere ma be kra be
50 days in office, not even all, but we'll make sure that majority, at least 70% of it should be yes. I said it earlier that we are going to enforce the law, so we are going to use the task force of the MMBAs and the security services to do that. There's an ongoing project that we started in 2019 called Carried. This project is to work on the drainage around the Odo Basin. So I'm trusting that when we liaise with the stakeholders involved to fast track this project, I believe it will resolve the issue of flooding.
We yanka bopuni mantam so afo ma me Linda wo kula kwele ora sansem nuna tuja na no akire ne ma ne bofo tisi monte no se we dey asampa enkra hanum a ene yebutuo ene ntinkra bopuni mantam hanum se de ma mi ken mo je ne sen ebisin ye da asapa yakoma so ade enio yakoma so ade enio na ma mi akan ni ni nan sa senkafo ahyase e bo ma mi agba so hye kase pa na mo wo kire se de waka no enefo por aduonu 50 days ye waka e ma ba akokora mpa ho one chance nye adwuma ne tentem so se betima boa ema saa traffic ene saa light ye ta dundu wo nkran no na nam so ma kan hye bebre na tasie no ebetimi etwene ema ne bonni Elvis Sandro wono kopie mu ewo eye kasoa afi wotu fa esa kwa ahwaman alo kopie mu asaman na asamanfo se waya de pa you see the woman now with the ones he say if for face that in long time na so mu ka pigi ka sepa mu jeza hema no se de wo ka no wo mu gina kuru mu na mbom na wo mu hwe ni so betima ye tententente we kwa de nka 50 days na so no wo mu de asenka na ya street light wo fa poku ase a na office ni na nde wo fa amasame a na office ni na nde kwa abenya na wa ye ashama na wa ye musuku wahunu na ekọ na nim sa ashama nso de na wa ye ne ade sa wo mu chese wo mu ye ni se de a eni enkra ha be kra be pa amobia so eni ebetimi age ne etie nsem a abra amadi po ni Elvis Sandro kopie mu wa shaman eni get to hono wo mu kasa ye pa
the street light there if they fix am are good because night some boys feel they take people's their motos for their hand, so if the street light there they no go fit do that thing again. We go to see them clearly.
Mokutos almost like 8 years because since the time they fix this road, my mama and brother fix the road around it be about 8 to 9 years we stay inside. Where then do the lights, as in go off, nobody care to do one back again. So that be how it happened. That one day they worry. I no go lie because sometimes if they can't wear your headlight, say that good ladder, you go fit get some crashes and things where they help. Where sometimes too. If the street light there, they prevent the thieves from collecting people's things because some they walk from traffic, they can't pass go house. Where if they fix the street light, it be advantage to those people. You see, there no be advantage to we alone, but to those people. You see that way we go hail the minister if he do one. That be what we expect from our leaders.
The area free and penny for hono say what me aboa. Emma ekwan so atima yesren eni ase London oduro animo pania to fam kura no otimi hunu se pania to fam wanimo na yenya se asum kabi no aba be sum nkram puni mantam wanimo ani nteno eni aboneyefo ahyase afa bro nya ho we crackers ani ntino wo mu di nsem bone ni dwurim de wo nse wonam traffic mu a wo ya no traffic asika kra no a wodi mu no anka wo miamia phone no aye ho ko eni odi wachi sa obo glass mi odane woni ahwim no ahwim o phone no de adwana akwahye forest ho no mo wo mu je sa de ma mitumi ade a anka be kra be hwe ama obi a no betumi nya ahodoso se bambon nsem e betumi anyina kona mi kase pa
107.3
Asaasepa no
so waso kusa oti Asaasepa hane so akiri pom yensa nwume no nsa kan kase bo na different kan pumpuni mantam hanom cantonment ene yebuto Jolata Studios ene ye property mantam din seni na mu so watimanya bi ehwe na wanya bi so etie Facebook ne yedemo ya Asaasepa 107.3 afa YouTube Udu one ya Asaasepa 107.3 WhatsApp number ni 057 777 1073 text message nso 057 777 1073 first one so ye beken kan na kama pa ede amawo ye to akase ne so ye na wotwa wieye na dwumadie chenchirenche ehya ase e won kan bopuri mantem hanam atwi mpanyimfo wodo afiri abibire mu atoye ene abibire ma man ka ye ka woni nyina bepie mo man Ghana hanam dwumadie ni nyina no African Prosperity Network a wo mo de dwumadie ne hya so ayeto ne din se African Prosperity Dialogue abibire mu hanam kwa wodo abide tu afa so ne nya sika yade ye ho ama adwadie ne sika sam so atumi akọ ne kase pa eno ena tibreke so ye oda no Gabia sarochire dako etire nsa frem panyimfa wodo mo kabie wo mu afiri amanone ebepie mo man Ghana hanum no mo pie no se o man Ghana wade papa ni na ne sese kwabrane itimi boabo edom no afiri chichi ne bencheye ebepie mo nkra opini man ntem ma aman panyimfa wodo betime pie mu dia na hu behia se betima dwendwe kwan wodo a enkra ha ene empo no abibiri mo hanum ebetima tumpo akọ nanimu kane no behwa ankanai o kotogo o kokodifu he usika se obedru hanum no aisa se san naira ana afa sefa ene hwan ne de na ka ho saa sidi no bedru hanum no obesesan bebiri na yikume bi wo se na dwadie no ayebasa ebi kura hanum a kasa keko obedru Burkina Faso no ha se mesoi bonzu ujina ni mo hwe ni mo se he va bonzu saa no ka kasa ne de kire wo me kasa bia wo ncha igbe ana wonte French oduru wan mo hwe ni mutodi ase se bia bru se benya de kram e wa hu samana no hwe ni din o sa kwa no nte kasa no man ko no ko eba ni sa na dwadie nso so e na eto ape wo man Ghana ene ya bibe mu hanom na ne na mpanyifo wodo mapie mu e wan kampo pini man tam no mo dwadie share so African Prosperity Dialogue APD o mo ne share so mo dwadwuna man Ghana ene ya bibre mu nkaya wodo e ka ho no yebeti wa fa so adi dwuma enkonko ba se ade bia be ye wantwanti anase mpo no ebesi akwan e wa adwadie mu na ne na Dr. Inkozana Dlamini Zuma wano ni chairperson edma African Prosperity Network Advisory Council no wodi piniye no ne Asaasepa ka se di nkomo na no peye no chese kwanya wodu e fa ye e ma mpanyifo wodu be pie man Ghana hanamo yetime dwindwi o man kan ko ni mpuntu se de be ya ye ni suade huna woto ebetime akọ anim se bibi man no kwa anim kase pa na afidie ne de wo bo aba so kase se mpanyifo wodu mapie mu no wo mutime hwaye ema de omdwi hu ni na betimi akọ anim anim pono aman panyifo wodo so susu ya wodo m ka ho no se wo de kwa dwendwi mu a ene ebetimi akọ anim kase pa na abra na no pai Dr. Inkozana Dlamini Zuma woni Asaasepa kase di nko no chekere die nti a enei sa dwumadie enafo miensa wo de hye so wankan hanom wani nti enam so ma adwenkyere ne adwentoato a ekọ ananimu no wo de ba wiye.
Infrastructure is very important, but we are also looking at social infrastructure because at the end of the day human capital is the key. So education, skills is very important to complete the value chain of what we want to do. So there were lots of ideas coming out about financing the infrastructure because there is a calculation that there is a gap of more than 100 billion a year.
Every year.
Every
shortfall
year.
of 100
more
million
than 100.
plus.
Yes. So we're looking at different ways of how to close that gap. One, we were saying countries themselves must look at pension funds because there are countries that are already using pension funds to build infrastructure. Looking at pension funds, looking at sovereign wealth funds, looking at insurance, but also at the development in finance institutions. How can they help? But we were also saying we have Africans who live in the diaspora. who could actually invest also in infrastructure. But in addition to Africans in the diaspora, we have Africans on the continent who could equally contribute and invest in infrastructure. So there was an idea of establishing a continental infrastructure fund that can benefit from Africans on the continent investing, the diaspora investing, and other partners. And that way, then we build these common assets that we need.
Ebusia, weye Dr. Inko Zazana Dlamini Zuma. One in a chairperson Titrani, Edima African Prosperity Network Advisory Council. One and woe to focus upon Eban say AP and the Jumo dear woman Tiano. One only for two focus upon Edano, and other sensible to your watch and say, Bit my boy. Emma a Bibremun Chichiri, a bit me to Pua when we can say, Pa. Emma, you may dear see, and this was set, you bit my dear home. Every quasibro ni someone you bet me I am a cashier.
107.3
Asaasepa no.
Ebusia and none of paya and then your cat at ten. Every Swatraman Football Club. Any Kumasa Santico to go so by any say and rata any afternoon need was Yamania. No go yet, Chino, eh, Nipa Bako. What an one, Seattle. Then never told you, eh, said me, dear Koye, I rare Europao. Sir, afternoon, you ko siakan. Ne si akan na wa ya no ya Santico to koni. War supporter no. Among for kwanza ye wan etimi afa sekan wa. E dia won say surudu na ekire no. Na brant eti na namu wansia do. Na ne na mpanyifo wodo aba bontre wo mutimi do manu atum bia wo mchese say zuban kan no a. Enso Atraman Football Club wo mu da die no so a. Wo mu ko ma oya woti na namu wansia do no. Wo mu nsosa so eni nti no. Ghana Football Association de krata babonte wo mo chese wo mo de wo mate committee ya nhwemu committee betima bo ase de be ya de nam so ma wo ya ne tina nam wonse do nam saa mintim wo se a etimi to adwane so no saa foni na no wo motimi akwadwu na afa wo ya ne yehunu se wo bo mu bia ene emra kwan so kese pa ye de wafa so na no na sanse woni na si obi na ni kotwa hwese hwensa tamtia egina ho bie wo hu ne de ko so ni nina no woni ya made bofo a wo mu di dwuma e wa godie mu nsam edu sa enkum yentie bi na afa yemra
they see anything pitch little. I think there was some support within the players, among the players. So we supporters there were changing there. We thought players plans and pitch as and pack as and so we left it to them. So they were sorting things out. So Onano, instructor for Onano. He from VIP. I was there with him at the VIP club Onano. Okay. Me, I was sitting very former MP. I think he scored about 4 or something. Yeah. So me, I was sitting directly under him. VIP, you know what is from Amiticom. Nenimpe. And as we see here, it's in the right hand side. And so only see come course or coming left down or parking so. It's a you know. And I think things were coming down. And I referees separating things. So things were coming back to normal speeds. I might start game so. And he made a call. Or just parking so. And no signal to see here on top of VIP or signal to see here and right down. I don't know what I think he was calling him to come also talk to someone. I thought it's all offer. I'm not going to complain you on more than at one day. The way in a situation is here. Omoma could appear and prepare and Sania say don't man in call. Don't go man in corner. I'm not going to complain for some man in call because his situation was very tense. Me, I would like you. Me, I'm a medical practitioner, so I understand. Now it was very tense. So I'm more catching and say, oh my name, I'm gonna say, back to what my name. So he got upset. Oh, parking. So we just parking. Say pray with happy and also man. He got upset. I know or use or my signal be a tone is after the other spectators. So that side like Omugutunya. No, Sam, or move them setting.
So, like, so like he was inciting.
Yes.
He was inciting. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that is the right word.
Okay.
They got very incited though, the supporters, because we're signal mono.
Okay.
So you bring you cry. I'm go ahead in there to trust me.
Okay.
I'm almost say and so no for every park and so so if anything. They all say about another season to a VIP. So it's this one, the one I'm about to say just occurred. And see, oh no, for steps and Abastrono, and a year Protino, Polino. But I didn't know you was called Poli. A chain and who's a pen Poli. Also, I kept red, and all long boots brown, and also long sleeves white, and I got a call. Now a fair color, and a unicorn, a fair protocol flag, maybe unicorn. But I don't know what Proti, that's where I said, oh, Tama, honorable, countable, and a woman either, on out of frustration, a buffon, or Pia Poli call, so, or Pia quality, and a boy now, it's what a fans in the Poliso. The doctor of 2 different in the one. I think, or Unisa Bobby. Support Abaco, a Pole no, self defense no, to a Pole no, couldn't echo VIP, could have your side of, and to go to the boys here now to complete for the Patapata, or Hoyade, a call from. So from that time in the year, everything seems normal. So one, I mean, the other situation is here, and I told my boss, I mean, boss, young cop, because me, I've started in a same. My son's a baby who to come say because it was on me in free situation in it. It's on you see. So we didn't know what's really happening over there. Until you judge now, I see one I rush it or be the name called a parents ambulance in first, you know. I'm putting guide in a tool and you first. They say who said that same guy in Pole guy now. And I boss and you're Pole and I'm so I want to say I'm going to say kind of was it that
there was no ambulance or what?
There was an ambulance, but ambulance was, I think, at where dressing room. And I will talk about VIP.
Abusia, and to when ye Amanaboa will be an enemy coach of Winston in Santamtia. Edwin Yabrana in Swatramine Football Club. Wabane Kumasi Asante Kotoko, would ye Shemu na Agokensi and cost when I'm so my Yafo, Bako, Seka, woman, 1 day. Nana Paul and Niti, what did anyone say to Abusia? One I was ever Facebook on YouTube by Asaasepa 107 Abranton of a power. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, August Busman create Chemono and walk away word no. Oh, Yamin funny currency ye.
107.3
Asaasepa no.
Busia, and this among your Kuono, Nim Krabata war at Tiffany Piemantem, Upper East Region. At the crat attending Tiaba Bontrain. Na kratanini na Boman yetrese Upper East Regional Minister. Papai, ye ni ntinye boni din waba vetin. Papai ba vetin ye wanabo akamugri. Waba vetin ye ya wako ni kurumu. Nane die, what ye shensu video na babo ntina mchechire mu uba YouTube ya Asaasepa 107.3. Eda hono mu a ubehwe ni din na afei wahu se de na papai ba vetin ye ya wontoto na ye ya wako ni kurumu no. Ena ne wotena ne shemu. Yehuru sa ade bi huru sika bi huru sa ana man for say na yaji watum mponie ana wa hya ase tututu sika egu abontre ene ube beji watum krepopem ya be yadwuma be mfie ba kom yenum yensa no de bote pa na aboyo na no na nsam no kase krata tenten ede afi regional coordinating council no Upper East Region atifide apie man tem hono aba encheche wo mo de aba ni na kire se video na na montre yeah, Nintimu ni say one abo akamugri atanga Donatus papai wo tutu sika ekọ wiem no wacha say da bi enye sika o na mbom no say de ope no asi we Upper East Region hono enti ope no from na ebohu ekọ benkum na banifa ekọ benkum na banifa no ene na ope no bom de ewura papa no botomu ene tu sika ni bi kwa bontre ene na wiem saa ene nam so manfro be na ka say oh papa no otu sika na gu wiem wa otu sika na gu manfo so wo say oh we kwa na 100 Ghana cedi po 1 million pe ene se etuko wiem amframa ne timi bo no ane amanfro be na ba mten a wo kire say oh papa na tutu sika krata di on nsasase Jonathan A Salifu wono no regional coordinating council wono ne kasamafo edima Upper East hono mo no wo kire say saa enom na nanom montra amanfo be ne kasama pei atanga akamugri Donatus regional minister what to is kegu amontre wo che sadin enye ne kwede biere na mbom no wo pani asi wo hono ne mframa ene wura papa ne boto ne ka mu ene yi sika ne bi ba bonten ene tugu amanfo no so hono mu a obi agogo twa wo gase wenyada sika ne atoto
107.3
Asaasepa
kwantrintin bia ne be wi abobo no aha na kase ebo bo no frima ntem di nsia ni na mu no yere baba ne nkokro abo nya bitu kasa fidie sura ha ya Asaasepa ha ne so akiri pom yensa kase ebudent no ideal 96.7 wo mo fa peteye ema ya fo wo mo mfimfini mantam so nya bi eteye www.asaaserole.com so kase ya body ni na hankankro de egu ho no mo betanya bia kenka brofo kase mo YouTube Asaasepa 107.3 Facebook TikTok and X oduro ho no mo Asaasepa 107.3 na afei wadwe nkyere no ususu de obaso body ni na ene so WhatsApp number na bin so ko se ba foja and now you may have more than enough of my home. Now sign a bra. Why do you interest in the TBA and Miss Sorosu Pebon here about for what Trankunyamu? No, that to pay you a day at 12, so number in 057 777 1073 057 777 1073 the first one. And then so, Obekin Canina so Eddie, I'm some for penny. Nana, we anchor one as I can see mammy. Now do drama Brand is a producer, and I could see watching. One in Shirakabi, one so peer pianini, I didn't know Kubnako, Crabanya, Quabronoma, Miss Betran, Kuya Brumu, Namidi Namamahui, Miss Orasodia. Now, pointing about for what the bonus Eddie Atumpan you may and a trust, more any tear. Yajimasu couldn't talk, Macau.
What 107.3
Asaasepa no.
Mofia Moke Radio Agme 107.3.
Asaasepa.
Okay, Jame, Obajo twin me.
Follow who no road.
Onye Igbeson 247. Onye
Asaasepa.
And you mind him.
Minyamumpo.
107.3.
Asaasepa no.
Osum Achihain. Emiwiase atedin. Share and was Asaasepa 107.3 near Fakania Ninchero. Bride Atumpan Somo. We a mayo samoa and no mapi a womb. And some bopate bibri a womemu and ye de somo. A Joda Cosifida, Branus Yabo Popim said non combebo. Was Asaasepa 107.3 FM meeting at the Bonohene Bafoa. Atumpan.
Medofo, say a castle door. What's your CSN?
Odo entiasie.
Odo ma enije.
Odo dear, I give and take.
Odo nyentopa.
Odo dear do. Odo ya butre, entiasie, engegidi.
Odo a serious business. Odo yete.
A free Valentine's Day was Asaasepa so. Yes, any yen show wodo sunko. Ujidi ye pa say. Ono who can do ye sunko any yenche. Your voice note na tenten be yesema ba akope. Tafa send your WhatsApp number 057-777-1073. Yabe phone crofo no mo a omodo sonko net hasum. They are ton sa from my studio. Na woni bibi. Eni josam kese a wo mu ne say. Ni obedi nkunim ne benya akonya ba ye dwumedi a. Ya pomode ahihya ma adofo. Sa dwumedi yi. That would say no ordinary love night. Ebe ye nyumra ore feed da. If we say ya ben no wine na ye di chocolate na afi ya try do hotel la ya bomode esiesie hosonko efi joado ojefo bosumi a etosudu mechire February 10th kosi efi ado ojefo bosumi a etosudu nai mechire February 14th bisanyo ma odofo 057-777-1073 na ye moma no odo sonko Valentine's Day jumedi Asaasepa na me ya pamfo ne ye de brem na ye koso aka idwedifo se akonya kese wo ho mam se mo pese mo ni ye ndidwa mo fra ye ewo 020-000-9954 Happy Valentine's Day Asaasepa se
Atumpan Geniakasa. Atumpan Geniakasa. Atumpan Geniakasa. Atumpan Geniakasa. Atumpan Geniakasa. Atumpan Geniakasa. 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 Atumpan Chenia Kasa.
I ask you to be citizens, not spectators.
Chenia Kasa. Atumpan.
Right, mami mo ajona me mo akwa bamra Asaasepa 107.3. Emra so say ye de campaign juma di bro anwume nkomo ho. And bibi koso wo man yimra hye bedwafie. Mesre speaker Aban Somana Babin. Obi anim ba bia wo firi NDC ni. Untimi nwane mfiri ho. Obi nka say jai NDC no awo no. But once our taxpayers money and you do tua o say speaker de and no make cost na ekoboni a obi a ho rights or criticize
Chenia Kasa.
o man ni mra so dwafie no enya NDC MPP sem mra so dwafo no ye nkrofo a yen taxpayers ya to abamo mo abato mpeso ahodo so mo represent yen enti omuni ho by virtue say omo ana so de abetena ho eye Ghana fo om de pampantresi omuti so etwa to no omo na ato aba e de ama omo enti say NDC wo majority a it doesn't mean say yen use sa majority no na yemfa nye sakasaka wo mayim na hyebdwafie
Ne ka na da ho do.
and meda fanyo makin sase wa trese wo ye leader na mahye MPs no nkran say mo sheki mo ntena ho emma ye mpopo mo wo mayi mra hyebdwafie
Chenia Kasa.
sa wobi ko committee so na obi bisa ne question a ukọ some jurisdiction a ye take 5 days ever minister na sabi previous nipa no betra wose ye mvete no ye bisa ne nsem na ekoye mprepre ho ma ye misa na nsem wei emie nka sa nsem wei na ye tugum za ne agya nipa no a nipa no besom ye wu enti asoman ese make sure say asem bi wo ho a nipa no ka ye bibi wo ho a nipa na ya ye betumi apushi nipa no ne abisa no de enti a wo ye sa de no de enti a wo ka sa de no ne hu se wo ye prudent enough say wo betumi abe ye minister
Atumpan
because obi ye minister wonye ordinary person enti nya se nipa no bodia ne agya no abetena my friend my good friend my hwan no asori no akọji portfolio no to office sabi no odi nsem hunu na ano na committee afanyo markings ho ya hia sabi amanfo odi nsem hunu okurum no
Chenia Kasa.
ana ma hu se amanfo bia print bibi ababonten edi asamo a afanyo markings wo de ka bank for ka na yetimi biletel your politics but low belt say ya na politics no probably yentiase ye
Atumpan
na no wonder say NDC for na yesade no because one NDC for they don't learn, they don't want to learn omu hia de omunim ye titrasam yankangum troboy ne ye de kire eyezu asa nanka sabi wobi yamra sebedwani waka kire say we businessman wodi nim kwi dada ansana obo mayimra sebedwafie enti wade bank ka asamba ne wo we ho
Atumpan
andi sunu mo de ka wo
Atumpan
andi simra sebedwafo no se ye bodi mo de ka bedwani afirikurum ha enti sa wobi a businessman na wade bank ka na wakọ committee sunu obisa questions na wo bisa no nyansa questions na hawa no akwa print we ya beto abonten say Ghana for nkenkan because we say Ghana for adwen wo form because your leader John Mahama e ka say Ghanaians was short memory
Washe.
and Tambiano they want to take Ghanaians for granted say you bedi choboy for nachi no
ya ka bi ka
true 21st century and biaba and say unu obi nya adwene a enye sa kwa no ne fa so a yegu nipa no fi age 23 afenyo markets no aware
Atumpan
bisa leader Mahama so aware age saying bisa se nu katia aware age saying nipa na ka to se no odi nkwi wasi ni fie o ye businessman na no woni sika dada and so obi ye business na wo ko bank kwaje bosia na sabe say no krakra no default ya ana wo the bank car wo problem ni say
ne ka na da ho do
for politics no ye no ho ben politics no ye the shaping minds ni padwene ye politics say development betimi akoso wo man mu ye nya politics say metan nipa no enti ma men ka asem bia na mengu no ho fin na amanfo empenti ne black e wo kurom ha ne ye jane sa ne ye ko enti mesre sa committee no ne yesi yempa yensi sambra no constitution no yensi sa no yenye review ye bo obi din sa wo ye minister won kono na djuma
ne ka na
ye Ghana for peno no Ghana for ne chusu ye so mbeto aba ma joma ha ma mandi sia betra konwa so ene no mo pe enti se nipa ni chusu nipa no na oye prudent o wanya prudent o na mo mpese sabi ye bebisa bisa nipa ni nsam a mo menka na Ghana for nyina nte ni anyai sa popo ne titrasam ni nguasesem a ya start edebobobo MPs no emwa and wobia ntra krom ha masade ne nkoso wobia no obia free wobia house number enti sa na mo pese bilito sa politics no dia ye be bilito aba form na fe ya kire obia ase going forward now mami ko jina pa east regional minister Mampayin John Mahama bodidin
Atumpan
sa minimum payin John Mahama and can revoke appointment as regional minister. Ye taking normal for granted ukrom ha too much.
Sheniakasa.
Ye pause leader no kwa kosom. Nti de bia masema me kan say ye me obi position. No shefita kwa so dem near the part of good so near boni shira me trust din bi sam say are we serious as a country? Ye ni abere. Ya mo obi position you know wa shefita ye ni age. Ya mo obi position you know wa to sika was spray sika wo wiem and ye ni age.
Atumpan
Me anya NDC for wapa east aba be ka kire Ghana for say ya mamere no amamere ben no
Atumpan
Paulugu
Sheniakasa
Eastern Regional Minister ye bo ni din wo kɔ ne krom wa bie ka so na ogina ka so na otutu sika go because when your opportunity e be wie sika enti mame ntumu na amanfo hu se baabi a maduru de sika krom na maduru apart from that nyansa bi anim so be gina ka no so atutu sika ma amanfo se mun sesa and Ghana for no atoda bi a yanto no wo form too much enti politicians ni bi wo ho a omun take it serious
Atumpan
bisa un se sika no wo tugu no wo fa firi he
ya ka bi ka
true sika no wo tugu so wo betu join me Facebook live Asaasepa 107.3 TikTok wo betu join yen se Asaasepa look at such man ha ya boni din se won koye regional minister and who can tell me say we ya mamre sremfu amamre ban ene agina ka so ehim frag NDC frag etutu sika gu amanfo so Ebasa the ordinary Ghanaian or Tinchan who say politicians they only amass for wealth.
Atumpan
Here you be sir or a politician near the position in sir a flat gate near Biamano, so made this can call. Say yes, as I deal with Uncle so if you might do a chroma at your muscle. And Jomama, I know very well we are president. Unim video unimo na kore upper East Regional Minister, dear warrior. Now we are pointing Crawford at the position show monsa na a young Crawford sabi in previous me pese me yusu word bi abeka se bi atem
Atumpan
platform no so and pay for me yam selecting Crawford sabi nyansa ne nimde e wo mutim
Sheniakasa
omo ne ye ben koketi no ma papa e wo timamufu so
Atumpan
that is where today be a politicians no na man for kaseti omo na man for ni abra mo so na sabi nipa boni bia nam chen a no so praise obey politician because when him say a easy way to amass for wealth
Sheniakasa
nanka de wo ye enkoso so I join me Facebook a wa behwe ni sabenkum wo twiska ni say no to agu because wa mre
Sheniakasa
because kan gu ho ni asesa ni ye de amano na mo de krata aba upper east mon kansa magana fo nti a mo asem say e ya mamre e ye custom enti custom no ana na wo e den custom no John, we say, I'm not sure for I know I'm being como. We bet about man on 057 777 1073 057 777 1073. We bet about you need be pow na ye call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
But what did I be at here, Gaffrey?
But you're trying to
Daniel about you, body uncle.
when me say in for we security no buy you almost your come or come with me play almost buy it and yes me see or come will be it almost and I don't want me on the buy.
Mesubeda say hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Udin baby ati en cafe.
I was trying to tell you
Botune no yanko.
Boni pato ya mo en kai na ka mi slow.
Tam wom kasa.
Me say ai minister ya veti no no oye sa no.
Ona etu sika gu sa no and Andy sifo ne say emframa na ehu sika ne free botom.
Veti keke boni. Veti keke boni.
Adwin kase so da ya adwin ke 20 ase.
E den na koso wo man mu a. Masa, omu yi no free ho.
Meda say hello, good evening.
Yeah, fine be mo dey say.
Nyame dia fam ya now so e.
Boko auto course.
Botune ne yanko.
Boy, what was man ya kan? No kure pa de DCD. Omuni na bunsa hu wi aso. Wo asam a wo ka omude letter aba say. En frama na ehu sika ne fu ne buto. Na pato, not for one frama no, e Libyan frama. Bro, not from frama no, e Libyan frama na etimi ehu sika fu buto egu abonten. Na we me appoint we say o meye regional minister. E dey no betumi aye ho. Enye bibia o betumi aye. Ye we o mutumi ga hwe. Na ye twen fie na no ne ahwedu nyame beye.
Inshallah, hello, good evening.
Opo didia.
Wano su didi ma no kwame wija. Udin baby ati en cafe.
Boy ne we well ni abema na amwa ko amekaka fi boy ewo agensu ano constituency.
Nana botune ne yanko.
Boy me was where there na me ntia me MP eye Obasampa Aida Adwo Ashiedua amene bono mo si factory e was where me mabo ho anya bia ye. Boy ne na bo you afenyo marking na bo na baso wa trend se oyemnanum ni a oye bema oda adomkuma ano e parliament na kukuduro ani nim bia no e me fe na e ma ho asem ye MPP ni a no MP ake Europe afenyo marking so ye minority leader me trend is voice so on person majority a so mo ye wadin se omomfa anobabai enye mo parliament wo dia di omu hui no say ya never cost because MPP and some come from school. Na ma say na ya take the person no coin. Always in the or two school. A chance on the or man can and you don't be a man, you need to become no better. Oh, man, she might get a Japan again. I want and on my father. We are getting that's what my engine officer in the top of our wine. How who said I had your homogen on personal interest on going in account.
Miss Weda, say hello, good evening.
Hello.
Meba chodin baby ati en cafe.
Bro here me ma ajo me dey ade nanado o regular caller.
Nana me da say botune ne yanko bo ne yanko.
Tinene dia ye boss ankasa ye bo. Okay, so the parliament the issue ho no no. Speaker what take parliament is say ne palace di no the obeka no fa na no. Me say minority for no. After market me dey me yada ne papa yes. Or leadership there Oma speaker after to say well the sister MP4 3 now also what send on to Munqua not say Omukana something but see my for Amunan Kambum and yes what something women Amuna for Amuson men or Omunan for especially Omunan Kambu Amuko and regional minister or this car is in the bottom and the bottom Kotokono Anonia Mahoana. I'm not sure because me in from Abana, from Sudan farm or it me bomb my scanning to me from my year.
Madam, say hello, good evening. Good evening.
5 minutes.
About chodin baby ati en cafe.
Don't question it for
I just bought you in yanko.
Never shall make my the kind of one year pan about also studying the passport. Almost on the parliament, almost send him a family. Padayamupenu. Almost send him a piano, ever do be as a fan on the poor parliament. Almost send him on a yes, so study him a moment, or Nadia or Yadi. What's that? Let's say, Obi be a to for Ghana, NPP for me to drop for job, because you were Ghana have dead or what's up with one more dead. Appeal for more invisible for the past community. Who can you make Ghana say, and this is for most strandy and we have to drop for and one I want to. As I expect to drop for Ghana, we MPP, oh, Piano of your master.
Medasi, hello, good evening. Meba chodin ba bi ate enka free. Mejo so pan udin ba bi ate enka free.
Didi kwamna di fanya so ti o.
Kwamna botwen ne enko.
Didi kai mami kan je kase mo o mo fanya mati. Ejma pa bo de min sham papa. Wani mi ya ba Safia Mohammed incoming organizer. And I mean mi ya kamia oku. Ena je se pokuria. Ena dai mana so bi. Didi kai so sticker will be so abandoned and this is one because only in the park yan see I am bra then if in the park no de ba kwa be wurum ya ya tu no mo ta kwa be wurum he am pena let it talk about and the only no ka so on pena no and they didn't talk about no more small the pan be chemu die o mo tinye hu adene nyan san man kan je the pan say ye nya de sa emra ye mo mu no who the question to no ka kasa tiasa almost sense say no on mo de tuka to no ko tese na ofi ni the minister ya nwa kana fo mo ntio fo because say you know we are point no sara to sika to go bon tese to man fire there e che usu no mba ma de mba o mba we sika enye gana yi ntro ma de mba e kana fo ntio mo because the man you spread the education akwaje go for that be ba that
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
Fine, no, bro.
Me patrodin ba bi ate enka free.
Wo fa yi de ni o mi free center Maria.
Eje Edward botwen ne enko.
Yo, we dey ma meji a uga sian Japan, Jim Lion, na afenyo Martins, na Jeff Prebi. Nyame no kura ni o de se uga afenyo Martins, juma wo di re mani aje fun papa. Na MZ NDC for no ma gire se go ndi omdodo no ebe bully minority no. But we have no after me who say yes, remember over the Bonabas say uncle so my own dear woman intimidation dear only be our uncle so no in the Juman one van of Creno and do the view de be Medanati.
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening. Me patrodin ba bi ate enka free. Nana botwen ne enko.
Ne ko de ga ya ka sa me ya ade ade then tebe huni nene yemu de mun ketwa ade ade na wo regional minister yenya approve mpo na wo tu ti kana fo na akufu ade na padi we anka den de be ko beka eso obi aye bi kana mpani fo ha enyoma ti ekoso Atumpan nyina ya da affect here eti mo mpani fo ni plastic Peace Council enyoma ekoso na obi ani wa oba out other boys say ni ekoso na enye obi aye di ene no obi nim say e beto about America ama ni ekoso America ekoso eti omo ya maji so omo de say BBC o meja ni akotena obi ma so a na wo de no nya ni yie na abekwa akotena obi ma so a eto de ya bro yin
Medasi, hello, good evening. Radio setting confirm udin ba bi ate enka free.
I'm the IGP the country Apollonia warehouse.
IGP botwen ne enko.
Ano and this guru say we be easy. But afenyo marking na nyame ya danase the way you na man. It's all 1,000. Or can one win our so to talk. Sam yes no. Ya budget won't go just one more na and then what president rota all butu pan in over parliament. Obinfiaso.
Mr. Medasi, hello, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Me patrodin ba bi ate enka free.
Akokujama something.
Aku botwen ne enko.
After honorable Asini Maki Wama, although election and Koya, but the way I may have come back to the communicated to Moko studios near Duso. Almost taking after Akaratano. Because Omoko studio and then did one year, my friend, my answer. But that is for the Moko Masama. No mercy for the people. What I said, it's almost adopted the communication team and I'm put it in place. because the normal CI say almost to communicate. I think of farmer I think so the party before election communication team regional national almost set up certain committee. No more had a communication my
Mr. Medasi, hello, good evening.
Hello.
About your dinner baby and cafe.
Brahini, where you fashion me, not do name Masaba.
Nana Bonnie and Cobonio.
Aha, say, Quabino, yes, no, a la Saputo. There, so no, new president now, all can say, the whole world, you're from Moya to trust NDC, Choma, Obia Yasiano, Obiano, or Antiana, or Becari, or Seven Ocano. There, or new video, my manifest, their uncle friend is for station. There, yeah, I'm one of my friends before station. Name a friend is for station. I'm a medium and a cat and 150 from Catting. I'm a cat about only a 3 months from Anicata, or Becari. I'm very different now.
Medasi, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
About your dinner baby and cafe.
I'm one family member.
Right, what's your name called?
Eti okuja ta omwa bro ene mi busao one ya mu bokoku a na no ano hwe okuja to atu nani asi MPP for mo abobra omo ankasa esinkete bobra asweti okuja to apetezi ba akra umi abida eso be minister for egapade a waye eso apetezi ba na umi abida. Oh, and so I want ya person kuminya and then when you go for Babato. It's in a coupon or to now.
Medasi, hello, good evening. What didn't baby at and cafe?
Bune Kwame Nyo, media.
Kwame, what's your name called?
Me say, Anna NDC for some person mungu be I don't want to share that the committee anymore. Free SHS, some person mungu ninti, the committee, just or more back on no man for dream the amba. Oba be committee na eguna mo say committee expert no mo kan sa ana mo yesa but so mo be appointed le queen dia oni mo invite odia e me fa cast dia mo invite mo ko appointed no no o committee be no mo ye eni dia mo nya adwenu appointed no but nyom be gunu ni dia no mo ya committee hey Ghana
hey Asam, hello, good evening.
Oh no pa
Oba
jodo ma hinwa
what's your name called?
Well, that been say Alban Babini. And the auto parliament, more than 70 could support. Obiara Ashi, penny flew a soft food, Obiara, way. As I will assume, not today, friend president, third president of the nation. None is a month friend, who said the president to call Rose and Papa, she said, "What was the friend in Coffee Asana? Or Sanala? This is anonymous back pin. Madasi.
Where's Medasi? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Maybe I told you about your cafe.
Yes, Samanga.
Aja, but you know what Samanka Sinko.
Oh, Free Bonapa. The end is the first year, the young one. As I said, Yankopo obros on the sworn assassin or Casa Ebem. Before election, Yankopo in EBC night. The young one was here to abandon AC and people majority in parliament is Yankopo each. And the HOKAS and this bar, Scano, we didn't know what I see a booty to stay with you. They are catching a lesson Yankopo and Santo until they are banganan. Then I am where home on the name Sumo Bompire and Yasi Yankopo 2028 and that's it.
Shallow, hello, good evening.
What is that?
Maybe I told you about your cafe.
They didn't give this much, but that's right. Ablikuma.
We say about your name called.
Mammy more. One note, Papas. What refer education was some big money, and no more yellow. Now, I think a demo leader, I am not the after your market, and it's on about Samuel. And the General Secretary, the Infodia, and Minasaka Mohammed, and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Of which is mother. But I suppose to buy it. And it's the fact that I must say, Mahama. I suppose to, and I could be any judgment that I don't know the Ghana is serious, so I am my expert. I could put it to $1 million. Probably minister. the Limua. Yes, education and what they go. They haven't got in Gobo. What I say? Nothing, send it to Subaru Parliament. I still say we have to get a mom. It's a rule. I don't want to speak of Parliament. The first time I was speaking of Parliament last 4 years, and this time, yeah, MPP time. But you know, dear. You are not coming out of meanwhile, no, we are some programs. As you don't know, what is the shadow good? Who has to go to good corrupt Parliament? So I hear Oboja. What I say, the man of the Caron cannot Nakuma, what they defend it, and it's for Canaloy, and you don't mind it. Let's go to Momagana. For my end, it's for one of my regiment. The one who ever step on the Guano, and no, I was so in this. That's it.
Mesumeda say, Honorable Isaac Buama Nyakon, lawyer, what Tenasima for last 2 callers. Hello, good evening.
Hi, bro.
Botunianko.
You, and you only say, years ago, Sam George Equator delay platforms, so set me to cry, Yagimo. Never the old converting, I just said, within 2 years, you know, we I been near our Ghana had my way in the hill with Konya Benny. And I mean, good entity for them, I say, oh, rather than oh, my day, oh, we are Omelisika. Now, maybe the American say, almost a Manisika, and I said, Sammy, almost the Bob Bracco, and only in Gratia. Before they are any Gracia and straight the object to and go on money or massive force.
Quickly, Mammy, call Madika Kacho, Honorable Isaac Buama Nyako. Call us in Yabutra, Mammy, my name is Mukondo Pesa Mubaso. Appropriate time, activity lines and no became home. I feel no became where Asaasepa 107.3 at Umpenjumadini, meeting Eddie Bonhene Bafua. If you constituency, Rashabujani, Ewaha. Honorable Isaac Buama Nyako. Mammy, Kona Mani Trimqua, or a lawyer so. Na me man afishiapa. Ya man waba wantinasi. My imrasu jafi. Onya kukudrum fansum MPP. Na inshallah 2028. Nyanko pombeshen when munyam. Honorable, good evening.
Good evening, Minyaba Fue. What's the name?
Namidi ache you now swear.
Nyamenado.
Right. Mema trim kwaso.
Me say that.
Afishiapa.
Afisi ni etim kum.
Right. Shano swami sir. Western region in our MPP war seats mienu pe. Ifia constituency and Takrade Abato Peswaso and Yankopa Daruma, Papai and Efia Mrashibijani. I want to pa, I don't know, 18 como. Finance Timukakra, walk us through December 7, 2024, 9 elections in it to say.
Yomida CP, Muniabafu, or the Kanmincha Asaasepa radio, Ete Funina, and Asase radio, Minchia. Obibia so OT and across the country. Ye na yenim there asase de. Wo asase ni baby enti no Ghana nyina rete amanoni fu nyina so OT. Memfa nchia kese so memfa ma efia constituency. Another Roman in the Mayor Parliament as their representative. Na michia efia na nimpenyimfu nete fu nyina so na michia Western region.
Okay.
Mosa ekeno in the region currently out of 9 seats. Initially near 12, we came to 9, then I say waka 2. And you know, Ejumana Bekese, I mean, former regional minister Kobi Ocheda Kumi Sanedo. But we are very poised to make sure they come 2028. Most of the seats now, Yelusin will recover and recapture them for the new patriotic party.
Right. From 12 to 9, 9 to 2. Why?
In fact, going into the 2024 elections, we are very certain that we maintain the 9 and even get 2 or 3 extra seats. But we're still doing an assessment of what happened across the various constituencies. Lucy. Some of the issues are quite known to us in terms of Ebia, Yehu, Kasa, Yenti, Yehuase, and at times also the core party base will feel that they've not been listened to enough. And yenin chichimuka kraso after the primaries yentu young reconcile enough. There are a whole lot of issues. So I'm sure with the new committee now, party leadership was set up.
Committee, no.
In fact, they have actually come to the Western region. Last week, they were in my constituency. Unfortunately, I was in Parliament. But of course, all the party executives and the core supporters were there to meet them. Actually, across the other constituencies and so we are looking forward to the feedback from the committee set, and then all of us will have a candid evaluation, hoping that going into 2028, MPP should be able to recapture power.
And the that of Western region, before na wo munti o mama bonti ambeto aba no.
Yeah, it's an analysis, and most of our supporters didn't vote. Initially, na eti can also but when you drill it down, polling station by polling station, constituency by constituency, you will clearly find out if you do the analysis from 2012, 2016, 2020 to 2024. At least when you run the analytics, you can see clear downturn in terms of our strongholds, where we will easily win with the numbers. You realize that then our numbers go down, but NDC keeps to their numbers.
Okay.
The NDC numbers, nuances are significant.
So by extension, that means more man to abani MPP for.
You can say to a large extent there were a MPP for. And you know, we need to drill down again. At my end, I'm doing a lot more of analysis to see even per households. All the analysis to see how it went, so that at the end of the day, if the data speaks to the reality there in Crawford and to Abana, what then can we do to bring back the love of the party? And these are some of the things we are doing on the ground.
Right, and about my image with if you know what to say.
Oh,
you also see your plan, yes,
Oh, of course, we had our own expectations. Of course, the first thing was to come and serve our people. It had to come there, present the needs of our people to the floor of parliament, be a good representation, help Yebe Ghana among your seminar legislative process as a lawyer and a tax person. And you know, them in this another background is good to come and support the work of governance. But importantly, when you come to the floor of parliament, you see that there's more to it than when you sit out. And we are still in the learning process. We have a lot to read in terms of parliamentary practices, and so far so good. If you look at MPP for year core parliament, if you look at the numbers, 88, almost about 42 of them are new members, almost half of our numbers. But when you see the effectiveness, even within 1 month, you marvel to say that, hey, some of the people even think that some the MPP backbenchers, some of us have actually been in parliament before.
Time.
Exactly. So that tells you the quality that MPP brings on the table. And I'm very sure that as we conduct business over time, the much needed expertise and then experience of the MPP parliamentarians will come to bear.
Right, me bacho afi no abeka ho a Honorable Isaac Buama Nyako lawyer ne ne din komo. Honorable Charles Forson Tema Central MP ono so abeka me ho. But quickly, my last question afi yemra national issues. So me kwa no makoma Honorable Charles Forson ajo. But answer na me no as orphan MP. So we are janka MP o. What I will say if you for no achievable.
Or a difficult but surmountable.
No, we'll catch you no mama kakra.
Okay. Inti obedin, but he butum suye to Hanamon. All the time, manamekane the government in our order, or your government for NDC, or a government for the people of Ghana. And even as a member of parliament representing MPP, and I'm also MP for the entire Ifia constituency. When it comes to governance, so or collaborative. So what we need to understand in the Ejumano, we would have to first present the concerns to government. Baby aban ubutum wa buano, yebeshemu abua. As an orphan member of parliament, as you put it, it is my responsibility to look beyond governance or government and see how best a lot of the promises I put on the table for the people of Ifiamutum ma galvanize near Daba. I'm sure when we have our media review, we should be able to say that in some cases, if it becomes extremely difficult for one reason or the other, this is the situation we find ourselves. And so we have to show them the little that we had and what we did with it, so that they can have confidence to bring our party back to power and then deliver more for them.
Right, Madam, I mean, Honorable Charles Forson, Tema Central Mashibi Johnny Manajo and then Ray. Honorable Majo. Bibi Abokodi. Na what will one? I mean, I'm the interview as a question. A quite home.
The results, results, so be an him say the Bantam of Greater Accra, Tama Central will win with just 55. But yeah, the reason why I'm called for Uncle Tuaba near Yagusu, yes, Romo, over 31,000 and Tuaba, HABB, with your constituency ends to be only about 68,000. Now out of 68, Nipa 31 to about HABB. Near Gusu, yes, Romo, Yanyomo Kasa. But God is great. Yeah, this is a come 2028, you know.
Inshallah.
Yeah, position beyond 2028.
Right. May say, but still, but this is more contested results, no.
So, but I always say, would democracy the best way to seek redress a court.
Okay.
And so we say or court. ABI council so would dream court first and just what no, I mean the results and ABI we won December 7, 10 p.m. before I do Coalition Center, James Secondary School. NMC winning and results. And I always say, any profit and loss. It's never a profit and loss. And then yes, synergical effects say 1 plus 3 that with elections the 1 plus 1 DBI 2 and it will not change. Nothing will change. I mean. Nothing has changed. I mean,
quickly, my main comment in Rush with the Fina, yen share events, normal SCC woman, and Rush with the Fia. Told me, sad, I know, say, will be our baby mono, and cow person, now the Shunadia. Now, 1 quarter of Sunday, now, cotton woman be say. The idea cost woman in Rush with the Fino. I feel more raho, at 2 7 when they say.
Back at the oh, yeah. It's to be expected. It's to be expected. They say if follow Ghana in parliamentary politics, particularly over the last 2 sessions. That is 7th Parliament, 8th Parliament. 7th Parliament, which was 2017. Okay, NPP had won power with a good number of MPs over NDC. And you could clearly see government business not affected. And then you come into 2020, you have a hang parliament, 137, 137. And the effect of an opposition parliament, which is almost level with the ruling government. Into Omawan, a lot of boldness, Omawan, a lot of belief. Omawan some powers to be ordinarily say opposition and parliament are enya. Then fast forward to 2024, they move from a hang equal parliamentary numbers to a super majority numbers. It's with that mindset in the yawo opposition cry na no one di pray na pray. Then all of a sudden they have an overwhelming majority. Meaning the minority they were ball cry I am for one in your share. But they have forgotten that about parliamentary practice majority is majority, minority is minority, irrespective of what numbers are at the majority.
Yeah.
It's a minority, no responsibilities and new rule. It doesn't change. So I see that lack of understanding on the part of the majority. The one so-called super majority, is not a takeover of parliament. It is only a structural thing there. You sit at the majority and you control government business. The opposition, as we call it, or parliament, on your opposition are only responsibilities. The opposition is supposed to be a check on the majority and the government. The moment are able to take away that power from the opposition, then we are going into a rubber stamp parliament. And anytime I ever call rubber stamp parliament, and not share the parliamentary, the concept of multi-party democracy in a parliamentary examining will collapse. It's coming in parliament for the first time. and knowing the numbers that we were coming and being a student of politics, I made the politics a change. I'm not surprised from the majority side now that this was going to be their attitude. Say you win, you kita super majority or whatever they call it. Then ma MPP for kwan krama won kasa. You bet you won for Hudido. Then they come into the parliament and they realize that no, them run juma. The minority has a say. The majority can decide to have their way. But the say of the minority, it will never be compromised. And that is what we are seeing. Anytime an issue be above the floor, it is for the majority and the minority to express views and debate over the matters. Now, when you roll it, because yes, Parliament has 1 month in a year, so our biggest issue we see is the appointment. What is happening at the appointment committee? First and foremost, the sharing of committee membership was based on numbers according to our standing orders. So, at the appointment committee level, out of 11 permanent members, NDC have 7, MPP have 4, which gives you the numbers at the appointment committee. But the structure of conducting business at the appointment committee is established by laid down processes, procedures, and conventions. And the convention is that, say, a ranking member, which is the leader of the opposition, on the appointment committee, you have unlimited number of questions. I'm even surprised why at this particular appointment committee, we agreed that the powers to ask questions by the deputy ranking member should be limited to 5. I seriously don't get the concept, because in the time past, when MPP was in power from 2017, Muntaka Muhammad, who happened to be the deputy ranking member, had unlimited access to questions. Every time you can see the ranking and the deputy ranking members having the field day, questioning MPP ministers, questioning government appointees that come before Parliament. Now, one would say, even our deputy is limited to 5. The only person that has unlimited access to ask questions is the ranking member, which is the minority leader. In fact, I sit even as a member of Parliament, and some of the appointees of government, allow one my could through crowd without my scrutiny. I get worried. Greater Accra Regional Minister, I have a question.
Only 3 minutes.
No question was posed to her. And I have questions as to why we even allowed it to be so. But leadership had the decision. No one won't name the reason why I won't scrutiny, won't due diligence, what's the year. So if someone can come and spend 10 minutes and go, another can come and spend 30 minutes and go, why is it your difficulty somebody spending 5 hours? It means that Nipana wa bano. Question marks one
and someone home.
And as someone, and it is so fun, and that's what I want Ghanaians to get. Some of the questions that are coming, it is only exposing the kind of people that are banwam on appointment.
Okay.
So if you come in as a minister for communication, you've traded so many things on social media, raised a lot of insults on the social media, and you want to be appointed a minister of state, a minister who is going to do business for and on behalf of the people of Ghana. They don't do due diligence on you. How are they going to take you serious as a government if ministerial appointees go check what is happening in the U.S.
107.3
Senate and all. The grillings that Kennedy and Co are going through as appointees of judge. Some can even spend days
5 days.
And you know, for me, mana OCBA oye, but mana yebo kowa yepede yechene de. The minority have always acted within the confines of the provisions of the law and our standing orders. Now, the we are never going to back down on it. We owe it to the people of Ghana. Or say that you make sure that any government appointee is properly scrutinized, and make sure that Senipan Oye Koshinia. Now look at what Okujeto Ablakwa is saying. Say yenyano during the vetting time one check the source of income in a baby or now the Ghanaian people are the best judges. If your salary is 15,000 cedis and then you can rent $15,000 apartment, one can say and it takes some of these things to expose the people that we are. You cannot be a head of oral and then at a road to Chiawoto.
Was all treasure.
Wo to crate ro a chain say it's a shame. It's a shame on him. What number one no kati ora na nkrofo ejapade afa ye bisa say wa business wo ye kra wo partners wo properties be na wo with stakeholders wo bisa chairman say ma kwa na answer na you want to run away from questions obi wo bisa obi kra wo di nipa na sma beto abonte. Now when you are being asked about wo directors of your company any omo sources of income wo de wo dwane akwese leader chairman she say chairman wo be answer na wo answer at the right time wo be answer ni na floor
right. Honorable person your course of my investment with the fi yen hwe integrity of yen ko deep near
what I was saying is near course one I put it in three folds. A motivation for us to work hard, MPP, number back to power. I mean, your power, we need the second one I would say is I have issue with Obioko interview, then a battalion Edinichi. In fact, I raised that with leadership quietly because me interviewing for job, and I don't see why Obi by interview and about with a whole entourage. I always say that's the beginning of corruption. Because only the next minute about China. 107.3. You need to fulfill because on by inside. I believe, sir, this process say VTOB. A vetting session is an interview, a job interview for Christ's sake. Because Alan Greenspan, former governor US way, or say we are any economic dislocation is stabilizing. An opportunity for the nominee to showcase who he is. But here is the case, one person will be baby questions be. But how would the people of Ghana have that confidence in you? Especially those from the outside world, our investors. And I always say an opportunity for who nominee to tell the Ghanaian and then the people of the world say, you are really into work. And then the third one, it is always a learning curve. We are learning, and we are the mighty minority. We'll give them a run for their money, media GD. And as our leader will always say, we are never going to walk out of the chamber. We are neither going to walk out of any committee level. But I will insist. A motivation for all MPP to come together. We know there is always some people who would like to draw us back. But let us work. When we come together, we'll get the minus 2,000 plus the next time. And then we are going to win this election. Come 2028.
Right. Speaker, Aban Sumana Babin. The post and in behavior. It will say enough. You have part 3 years. Or must suspend your mono. Minority, they say there be suspension and family council. The and recall no mumra and me omojuma. Mammy speaker name suspension.
Okay, until Thursday. Was it Thursday, right? Yeah. Thursday. He's been a good speaker, dear friend. But what I see is, in fact, 28th, he already dissertation be. I think I took some pieces out of it. Per se, you should be unionized. You should be oneness. They should be together. We should move as one. So I was even surprised. Anyway, but in any case, I'm saying, "Son, I'm a friend of Fado, be a friend of Fado, no." Kamaya say, I say, "Be a nimba," and I believe, say, also who say, we are 275 gathered present, no, our honor. Yeah, now you're electing. What I say, and Obibia has a way of doing things, but to the extent say Onukraba appointee committee members without recourse to leadership, no. And suspended. It's just like saying, say, President,
autocratic, right?
President Mahama, sorry, Chinano, Chief Justice, must suspend off. IGP Kroya by appointment. You cannot. At worst, you can which a sanction letter so on proceeding on leave. But here is the case, and our orders, standing orders. I mean, we'll quote all of them here. It doesn't give him that power, and the supreme, the spirit of our constitution, doesn't also not give him that power. What I say to suspend 3. Now video no here, you know. Into who I say Dunketia, the party chairman bano. No ana. I mean, as selective friends, justice. No, there's no even justice. I shouldn't say that. Into Mestre, we are there to work together. A leadership role, which I always say, I'm a learner of leadership and design thinking. I always say, look, you need to judge all. Be you the leader, be you the follow-up. Within the situation, you know, you need to allow cool heads to work. The chamber then it is about ideas. It is about how we can promote this Ghana. Sebio, you're back 2028. Na Ghana entity. In fact, that is why I say we are rushing through almost every minister, so that they can get. Look, there some of us we've given ourselves 3 months. After 3 months, then we'll start criticizing, critique, which I know say maybe here. But what is happening in the chamber with omnipresence? I mean, okay. I don't know. There should be refocusing on this whole thing. Say, Makoshe video. Intimate suspended. Call for 3. Now my suspended back to make appeasement. And yet it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We need to. We've all apologized for incidents which already Obianim said. They wanted to bypass some people in. Mostly Nipa 3 in the Eba. More the one back another one. Then after you added 6 more. To what extent?
There's a more pre. Yes.
No, but the first thing is to give the Ghanaian hope. Say you're appointing call for. To my thinking, that is why I always say this vetting with one sabra. Interview, job interview. Yeah, mekun. To the extent so be cry about no aka hire your friends a former our party people no more for that reason that is what happened in the case of Greater Accra. Share Agbogloshi market. Share the 4th. The criminal waiver or Greater Accra. And you are saying yeah, they couldn't ask because former regional chairman penny for Yankasa minority. How are you going to quiz a person? Yet I do believe, say, Nino, the Wafa, make an interview. Honorable Boamadia. Not Ninia panel, no wood mechia. Already no. What half armed? You see, but let a person come and sit down. On my tenacity, na interrogating no. It is when now people have can say, hey, Papa, wait there, obey me, you But 3 minutes, 30 minutes. And I believe we need to refocus on friend is saying the vetting model, no. We adding new framework, but I bet to.
Committee, no, are important.
Of course, and important because and yes, idea. Look, after Thursday incidents in here, when the speaker gave out the former communique, the minority had to leave within a space of 30 minutes or so. You know how many nominees they passed? Just imagine.
107.3.
So, but I believe so. We need to, as a country, now see who direction I echo.
Maybe so. Say who here? The entire maybe so. And they say si enya the best out of them yentimi nya opportunity ne misansam a ɛsɛ bisa wo mo beso mo man na taxpayers money ye de atua ne car then there is no need.
To some extent udibim, but look out there obviously minority ejuma. We don't say bye bye, we don't say goodbye, we don't say thank you, congratulations. I mean, there's one person when it's only the ejuma oyan meanwhile I think she's even bye bye. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations. 3.
I say thank you.
Yes. So why don't we cede the bye bye to the minority? Me, if I were part of the majority, I'd rather have said, let us allow the minority to do the work. It will bring out the best. And that is the work of a job interview. To see and then to bring out the best of a candidate.
No, bye
bye say. Anyway, we believe the new set of nominees, and I believe they will allow the minority to do the job, because you see, Jumanobian is a minority now. That is with Ghana. They should just allow the minority to do the work. If it's about 1,000 questions, let them ask. If it's about video, they have to show it. Leadership, a leader ought to own up to the wrongs and apologize. Because waka can we now also change. I mean, they believe they have the numbers, so regardless, they're going to pass through. But the Ghanaian is the best judge. The Ghanaian out there, are they happy? Say, your friend is saying, "Openi bi weke di, mampeni dada." I mean, but he took this. I applaud for what's the name, Honorable Amabua.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that is a man. He saw the need, apologized, and then moved on. That is a mark of a good leader. It doesn't take anything away from you. In Tebusia, I believe we have a lot to do. We have a long way. But our long way is that MPP ought to move together. As I always say, you move it, we have the numbers. But we still know, so there are others say, oh, yeah, no matter what, we are happy whilst we are in opposition. Majority are not happy whilst in opposition. And we need to work assiduously.
Yeah, yeah, party, no, yeah, party, come on. Honorable Mama, quickly, my young Speaker, Aban Sumana Babina, committee, no, then suspension of Sandy Pami say.
You, well, I'm a side. It's a very sad day for democracy and for parliamentary democracy.
107.3.
So, actually, intention, adrena water the framers of the Constitution were established the legislative arm of a parliament. It is for nothing now the Speaker of Parliament should not be a member of Parliament.
Okay.
The rationale there, you are bringing people, elected people from different political parties to a house. It's yenyi a speaker, yenyi as a people. Yebeja tumdoke, eyina yebe mawaye moderator of yen proceedings.
Okay.
The moderator so onye one of us, so that the person will sit above partisanship. It is will be a speaker. The mindset over the framers there won't take sides in the decision-making process. Another say will take any other action on your prejudice based on the background. Second, so what can there will be a speaker? On Saturday, speaker no you just want to act fairly. We want to see you fairly in your decision-making process. And mana oye me yo this whole enterprise. Most of my brother Charles Keno coming into parliament, and so far we all have Abamba. We know him from 1993. He has his good sides, he has his weaknesses. But FIM parliamentary democracy, at least he's been one of the most senior people with a lot of experience. Also, na say here, the person thinks that I am Mr. Know All. At times, say, ye debu, ye madam office of speaker. Now a accord to him as an individual, so the needed respect as a speaker. Now I'm sure na nipa no so outside the functions and the powers vested on him to act. One, asem na osi Thursday and Friday anopano. He was not presiding. you were not presiding. So at a gwema, you have the benefit of understanding BBA or Kodu within the house. So if a speaker, nasa eti egwema, mana all Kodu or chamber nibia another baby whether a committee chairman, you have a fair view or a full view of what is happening. That is why the framers of the standing orders were there. If someone is presiding, a speaker is presiding, or a deputy speaker is presiding, or one of our own is presiding as speaker, now said there's a disorderly conductor, you, the person presiding, have the right of calling that member to leave the chamber.
Okay.
So that, because once you see that misconduct, you can easily point to the problem with you, I will not misbehave into when you won't call. And that is only for the day. The framers had a good reason there. So if someone is disturbing, I will fear na se wobari or jima na do error. Say, hey, fear the question. So that there will be peace in the house, and then later we can make a decision on you. The same rules na yedi juma no order no. Oma ukwande in case there me you fi chamber ni for your disorderly conduct. It brings the image of Parliament into disrepute. Another area, you acted in a way that was contemptuous before Army as speaker and the public. Another whatever.
107.3.
Power is vested in you to refer that person to the Privileges and Immunities Committee, so that a body can have a full investigative process around that thing and come up with some determinations and report back to all of us.
Okay.
The rationale behind it in Parliament, people are representing constituencies. So me, if your people have sent me to Parliament, they will be Juma. The power can never be given to one person there on your whims and caprice. And so I said, I suspend him. I suspend him.
And the speaker we need that right so be suspended.
The suspension it is vested in powers. The question is, from whence getteth thy powers? The Constitution of Ghana clearly watch the functions of a speaker. Young rules, which is our orders. Watch there. Say speaker, say one no a best suspender. Refer the conduct or whoever to Privileges Committee.
But we have the committee because I learned say and take a committee no.
Leadership are always working with speaker Nankasa on or chairperson of the committee. You have it in a parliament 3 weeks. Committee you can't blame him as speaker. Leadership won't conclude. So when there is a problem, your referral to that committee is not stampeded. Reference to the committee is supposed to be a committee of standing committee of Parliament. It is an unconstituting power. The moment you refer the matter to the committee, you make sure that the committee is constituted ASAP. So if we are constituting 20 committees, Nasa Samaba, Nasa or Sada Yenya Finance Committee, Yapede appointment. Why did we constitute the appointment committee? Because appointments have been made and we want to go there and appoint and vet. So if there's a matter that requires Privileges and Immunities Committee, the first thing you do is call leadership and say, Joe, Manawesi, I need to make some references to the committee. Let's sit down here and now. Let's form the committee and then let me make the reference to them. So that you're able to act in the conference. Or you're scary. For me, I've over the weekend, Constitution, me a student of law. Being a student of politics and constitution, may read constitution back to back, asking myself, where is Mr. Speaker getting his powers from? I can't find it. Mark can standing on the sea in a bitty plane with it. Mark standing on the sea with the Mark can. I've looked for the spirit, I've looked for the soul, I've looked for the structure, I've looked for the body. I don't know, and I'm amazed where the speaker got this from.
Speaker, lawyer. Or you'll be a wasum. I will my immersion with your fee paying. Today, the baby will name
I'm waiting. I want to wait. 107.3. Get to Parliament tomorrow. Na speaker on Shem in at the house. Ebia we will be a muhuda. Another in a yet Parliament in a yehuda. Me. On the floor of Parliament, there was an incident, there was a case, we were dealing with statements, okay? And there was a question as to statements, one and obey your copies, no damn anade. I went through the standing orders, and then I gave a few, based on the standing orders. Even the leadership, minority and majority leadership, had not averted their minds to that particular provision. The speaker, then the second deputy speaker, was surprised. He himself has been there. So when they saw it, say, oh, okay. Then everybody could see, say, oh, the man do it then, or she's standing on the name. So I don't want to rush and begrudge. Unfortunately, the message or the speech or the decision, them statements now all making now all lead to the suspension. If he had those powers, he would have referenced them.
Okay.
Enti ebia oshana mutuye manyame ya adoma ochina obeba be che. I'm patiently waiting. Onye dem we all air. Manosi, you know, it was he might have felt embittered. We are all not happy there. Here back at the Parliament, another year says, man, I'm not for it. My biggest problem is even with the chairman of the committee. Why would you preside over a meeting and allow it to deteriorate like that? The moment I intercede, why didn't you suspend the thing and call leadership to conclave? So we will come there. But back to the speaker, my problem there. Per what I have read, the law is black and white. From what I've read, from both the standing orders and the constitution, I seriously have a challenge. You know, and suspending them without hearing, it goes against the rule of audio patem rule. About audio patem rule, which is right to fair hearing. It goes to the core of any matter.
Right.
No matter how justified you are in your decision, it's void. Ab initio. Or you're void. Because I was telling someone, if you see somebody lift a table upside down, na say be some wire table no memado upside down. Imagine that in the midst of confrontation, na obi the table no ode simenando.
So page through now so.
You don't know that, I don't know. Obi pram menan written. So you don't just on the face of it see somebody lifting a table and assume that nipan wa bodam na on my table. Again, my brother mentioned it. There's chaos. You were not there. You only watched
the
videos. You have not called people into meeting. You have not given it to forensic. You have not given people hearing. So how could you even identify only four? Because even today, I've watched the entire proceedings of that night, back to back on video, from Joy FM view to wherever view. And you can count not less than 50 people in action. 50 people. Obi anani roll. Obi sharoba. Obi sharoba. Obi kosum obi. Obi swo jam obubodin. So on what basis did you just handpick 3 from one side? Because if you are suspended only 2, that is those who hanged themselves. Dafia Mepo and Tampuli.
Yeah.
Tampuli. If they were the only two you attacked at first instance, the other one there, they were in confrontation, which was against even our parliamentary process of. If that was your base, though you don't have powers, I would have still challenged your powers. Then I know that you are acting in some form or you are influenced by fairness. Then okay, one day be na work. Now you that workita one same. I'm assuming there be an work wanyade. But when you bring in another press access is equal to all the other people who are on the other side to him. If you bring Jerry Shiab had been very calm throughout, trying to moderate and keep people tempers cool until then. For whatever reason, something happened and they were all, and he wasn't the only person. He is raising the table from one end, somebody too is raising the table on the other end. So please, I beg, baby, I drew Ghana democracy. The speaker should eat a humble pie if he can't really give us sound reason in law. Yeah, emotional sensationalism here. Withdraw the suspension. Refer the matter to an appropriate committee. Whether you, even the committee, as my brother said, how can you constitute a committee without the input of leadership? Yeah, almost our form with minority and majority, under whose consultation. The people are there as part of a caucus. Even all the committees are here to parliament. It is the leadership that make recommendations to you, the speaker. So if you want to set another committee, who show me was my friend, my friend Kweku, my friend Minister, say Momo Kwayam investigation, mami. Oh please.
Oh, cross do a referee. Parliament. Right, maybe I feel no make honorable Isaac Buama Nyakon lawyer ha. Honorable Charles Forsen Tema Central Rashi Jenny so ha. Now, yen share the free senior high school. Adiaba kwa Ghana for ebi mabohu wo ho ne say aban wa hwe ya obetwam. And say Ghana for me be ya adwena before introduction of the free senior high school. And this for running at Bibri about the free senior high school. John Mahama Mampayina set a committee, say, Omun review, Yamusia. Ebi suggested saying Kebeya, Yamu Mumus came chia, no more muniscano, and conny free. Ebi crowd here suggested say, Bodesano, and Yamu Munchia, utilities in tea, Nafi, day students, or Munconi free. Free senior high school. Mamisha Sifru, Honorable Charles Forsen.
How I always say, Yamusa free education. Yet you have school fees throughout. But Ghana, for say, I can say, I mean, resetting what? I do believe, sir, it's a grand agenda, but to put some meat onto the bone, just not. Someone says it's almost a committee. And this is the first committee of education. A new one will come up because they want the Ghanaian to buy into the concept. Say, "Omoyadi papa bia abwa." Free senior high school. I mean, it's a major asset. It's a national asset.
Of course.
When you go to the north, they enjoyed it a lot. That is why everyone say, "Hobe Briako school." We from the southern, western, middle belt. A opportunity. Everyone said, "Sisia, and in terms of open, kaya you Sisia na." We believe, sir, 5 years to come, dog chain, we may not even see them again. Now, to what extent? Committees no more titino. It is giving an impression, say, they were not even ready to govern.
Why?
Because MPP about 2017. He has set up committees, so you have a blueprint of every ministry. You need to have the scope. You need to have the policy-wise. Also, our conceptual framework, and then our practical know-how. Obeye ijumana. Now, Fiansana, you see education committee. Just name them.
Operation Recover All Youth Committee.
No, I'm even talking about ministries, you know.
Yeah.
Finance yes. Committee. So, but to what extent? Interest, you've been in opposition for 8 solid years. Only master plan. After you are consolidating. You are calling on people to share ideas. My fear about free SHS, you see, a time will come. Person vary in all ways and manner. Nanado legacy, MPP legacy, no. Then from there, Ebeko NHIS. That is exactly what they intend doing. And I'm fear. My fear is that you catch a Ghana for. My fear is born out of what we told Ghanaians. You catch a Ghana for say, look, these people don't mean war. And yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to aba. I'm starting. It's some kind of my university who for first year. What has happened? Yes, you but you refund. Okay, you refund anyway. Now, in fact, so Kaya, they said the private secondary school will even enjoy it. But yes, also you are coming to add up free your friends, the private schools. How then are you going to reset free SHS? So the fear that MPP kept preaching said, look, if you make that singular mistake, the power more, everything will change. And I'm not happy, but it's also part of the motivation. I say all things being equal, 2028, Yababa power, because the Ghanaian believes the senior high school no or say you free. What person vary no? To what extent? What also by vary no? You are saying you are going to add up private schools. Inteja. As for their new mantra, new road, funny say every friend is every ministry or say ethic committee.
But is it wrong, sir? Or more bet me afford, or more bet me a tree or more school fees. Is it wrong?
They should have because so many mother answer. There's nothing wrong with so could be at private school. Nagana secondary school how HS fees.
Yeah,
of course. But a national policy. A one policy, everybody, be you rich, be you poor, will enjoy. There should be a national dialogue. But what to committee? But a committee, a committee as a national dialogue, it's a committee to cripple and then collapse the free SHS. That is what I see. And nothing more.
7.3.
Right, my main call honorable Buamaho, lawyer, Free City High School.
Oh, Free City High School, another committee.
And I'm going to get it.
You see, interesting times ahead.
Of course.
I always buy this same idea there. Akwala onye obewuno. If I was over friend ku fi Yesu. Odi Yesu to do obewu. I tell America them. The NDC government. Oye omodeng. As we go with time, omobedaho. They will expose themselves. Ababani, 1 month. Asset women ministers when you approve an education minister. Now, education minister, and then what is the rule in terms of policy direction in consultation with the government? Then you set an
8-member committee.
What is interesting for me were the terms of the committee. That when you're serious, were the terms of the committee. Develop a theme and some teams to guide the stakeholder engagement.
7.3.
Why are we even setting the committee? The theme for us to go and engage. I think that they come a committee there. Committee now, all government are set committee. What was your rationale of bringing the committee?
I dream by the way to committee.
Now the terms of reference of the committee is to develop a theme and some teams to guide the stakeholder engagement. 2, identify key stakeholders. Our government now, you don't know even the stakeholders you want to engage. Under the themes of engagement, you don't even know. Committee na share stakeholders, including students, parents, teachers, researchers, civil society organizations, development partners, religious bodies. Then they say a referendum. Political parties, Ghana educational researchers in the diaspora, chiefs, heads of education institutions, parliamentary select committee on education, etc. as participants. Boy, the media me who be down.
107.3.
Young country education, who now will be D, wait us, Uchi ya, may say you. Then you get the power. And the next thing you are telling us, they say, Yanko identify key stakeholders across all of these divide. Now, for the teachers, students, parents, civil society, development partners, religious bodies, political parties, educational researchers in the diaspora. Chiefs, heads of education institutions. Then the next is develop stakeholder activity agenda with time allocations, propose venue and date, set up a secretariat to document, provide a budget for the national. Seriously, and even the saddest aspect of it is the 8th point. Draft a national education policy framework. Enti government no obe na aba framework no de bay. Aba framework no de bay.
Basia or national development plan or that. As my
so if there's a national development plan, NASA as because the ministry itself, that's why we have educational ministry. If you even want some work to be done by them to review, it is the mandate of the education ministry to now look at the information available to them, identify one have educational engagement, and then present their report to you. Now, I feel no to wait and develop the means with teams that you even didn't have and all of those communities. I beg His Excellency John Mahama. And this is the same thing I order Ishmael. I'm saying quality or economy or daba. You see, one is to buy time. Two is to deceive Ghanaians there and a broad stakeholder consultation. So that anything that they want to bring there, they will push it back to Ghanaians. Please, that is not what Ghanaians ask for. Be truthful to yourself. Free SHS, say any GD woman into menye. Wakwe de aware na ershe womba na any GD woman him there epede invest in them. You not do it. You find 101 reasons why you cannot invest in them. Because MPP na ye de be na ye wa entasi womunti. We had to forego a lot of cost to push it to the education. And they don't know how we be sustain
the free high school
educational framework. It's in a young consult na yen show one obeka there alternate scenario A. Our able to meet yende scenario B. Do you know the effect of this free SHS, which has allowed in yen time I call secondary school to go to Adisada College? Say those this common entrance. Yen cut off no. So yeah, aggregate 800, another 450. Any of them aggregate and above. The free SHS has given so many people the opportunity to go into secondary schools that ordinarily they would never have had opportunity to go and bond with others. The mandate is on them. Won't protect some of these legacies. So why confused that they should just come back to the MPP.
Concern.
Oh, say Juma Yababon war a parliament or the onya Afena ministers, Waba was set. We will give them, as my brother said, I've also taken that personal decision. Give them 3 months to settle. By 4 months' time, they would have given us their policy direction. We are waiting for the budget. let the budget tell us where they are going to put their funding to. And then we will come back to some of these things. Now, yeah, Jama the Massimi on that.
Right. Yen if you some kakra, yen ram people mu kakra na activity lines and this here. What is the way forward? Simple question. MPP. Road to 2028. Obiya ka 2028 ya be we ne. Yesri Nyankopon semre musa. But ye we ni ane we ne say. As a political party.
One is here be we ne. You see, it's the Ghanaians that will give you as the mandate. But in Nankasano, we have a lot of work to do. And as a member of parliament, as Ubia Mehu, how power has literally flipped from our hands, from Western region, seats that and Dan Drain Hoda, they able to me lose. Kwesimin team, Sekendi is
107.3.
If you want to recapture all of these seats, my brother, or ye Juma. Na ejuma no or ye internal ejuma. Say I'm back together as a party, honestly, to tell ourselves, say, Joe, ye and I are complicit in the cause of this defeat. Let's take responsibility. Let's be one. Let's learn to forgive. Where we are weak, let's show our weakness and look for strength and build it from there. Let's speak truth to power. Let's speak truth to leadership. And tell leadership, say, we am why. Say, yambom na yanye the men zaman yin facing head on. Na ye gudu ya with the ostriches. This committee that is going around, if they should tell you the fights that are happening constituency by constituency, it means say yenye ready. I'm being honest with you.
I'm for raising concerns say delegate system no.
Onye delegate system. The delegate system has its challenges. Like any for her. The Ghana election say if people want to PDP, this election in my constituency, NDC were sharing money across line by line. People were giving cloth and so on and so. It really doesn't matter if your voter population is 50,000 or 100,000 or 60 or 500. Say nipa na ye de won be ye adwuma no. Say ye nte adwuma na sa, it's much ado about nothing. What we need to do is to let polling station executives understand their role. Last weekend I was in the I met all my campaign team and Go TV people, over 1,000 people. And then I had to open up to them, admonish them and let them understand it. They are all part of our failure. So if we are serious to recapture power, or say come back to the basics to work hard and stop this. Yes, the challenges that we have, this eco primaries are now what's there nipa kakrebi and a when you scan our region no kick up. These are honest things we can easily resolve. But that alone is inadequate. We went for presidential election. How well did we reconcile? Yeah. People go fight to say, MPAD, every day, including today. I speak to some of our MPs. They went to their constituency. What's in Kofu Grisha? What's there? In 1 month. In 1 month. And they are many MPs nibi a meeting.
That means anybody in your sound mind crying judgment. Because
we have not even analyzed why we are where we are.
107.3.
The national executives, the regional executives, constituency executives, and all of us as senior stakeholders in this party should come together and take the strongest decisions. If we want to recapture power in 2028, it is now. Let's reconcile our differences. Where people are wrong, let's tell them they are wrong, but invite and bring them back. Let us sit and talk. Where even baby are in where people are being suspended and all those sacked from the party, it is not enough to say I've suspended people. When you suspend people, you need to also reach out to them again and see how best that, because it's about numbers.
And do you want to say I'm reaching out to Alan Kwajo maintain?
That is, I am all for any form of reconciliation. I'm never against anybody reaching out to anybody, including Alan. But my question is, reaching out to him, yes. Coming back to us, yes or no. What is the probative value?
Okay.
So, say Oba, you reach out to him as a Ghanaian, as a senior party person, and we break out. That's not the first time we break here away. Ekone national elections, when you hit 38,000. 38,000 doesn't win an election. But you only want to show leadership and say, if we want to reach out to everybody, we can reach out. But the person himself knows that he is not the cause for our loss. All that we are saying is that let's make sure, say, Obia or ye part of the MPP fraternity understands that if we are not together, power will be difficult to get. And if we also yen kind of quencher who says Semafumwa Monfanchemi, yin together, now you rebuild the party.
The idea of bringing back boys here, Metro Mena, no more protecting MPP as a political party. No, more say and call you back to MPP. A dream. Because
oh, boys,
about time, MPP before see intimidate you more during the elections. Maybe
you see, Manameka, those boys have been so long a time part of the team that have supported our party guys from the Invisible Forces time to Kandahar boys and all of those things.
Okay.
You see, the rationale for having those boys, was to make sure that at least at the part of the party level, you were in Crawford, were you bold and confident to stand in for us. Baby, ye nin Crawford, what there will be Jinana Kwama party. The biggest problem we have as a party is anytime I been your power, these people that support us, that have helped us, have killed themselves for us. A honum na yede o certificate way. If they don't even have any avenue to be given consideration. As a former officer from GRE, all the boys that we had worked with over the years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years down the line, even the senior boys are now leadership of these groups. They all could, most of them couldn't even find their feet. How much more say about Takrade in a Sekendin and boy? So, as a party, let's be honest, we've not been careful to take good care of our own people who sacrifice their lives and their everything. And some of them have lost so much. You pray one. And yet we had power. And nobody cared where they are. Including Ian Ansa, young big men. We know where all these boys are. So, Obiachene.
Okay.
It's young trying. Because all Korean infasoneba. And some of these boys,
107.3
lawyer, even the same people that we were protecting, tomorrow when you see them in their CEO position or ministerial position, they behave as if they've not even seen you before. That is the pain that they have. What they acknowledge, acknowledge, be a kunwa badi ni video a jinema party about power. What's that? Na yes, I didn't. Na wuni. Would one could be 1 year she before the also would see when I would try manifesto. Who do teach manifesto? Now obiso de ne radio a protected by
107.3.
You know the person, you know the person did. I feel why a deputy minister, why a minister, why a CU. The person just wants to feel good. Say, oh, oba, o office, a crano, uchia, utimi who say, oh,
reception at the man here, papa.
Cratching, then I say, Ademano. Ebia, or singing, ebi, wa, muchemu, etino, ubenya kakrebia, what they are. But most of the time, it's just about acknowledgement, letting them feel. It's when you come to my constituency, Obia minim se orden redie enen aho odin bibia. I can't forget about the person. Just acknowledge them so that ochide bino they will be there to help us.
Right, where I say Honorable Buama lawyer, if you Abaton Persuasion Russia Virginia, no, Honorable Charles Fossen, Tama Central. And I'm sorry, your wife and Nibrimpa and boys, no, but you will be able to call you much. That's 2020, 10 years. What is the way forward, MPP?
What I would say is MPP as a party, and then we in government, you rewarded loyalty.
Okay.
First and foremost, I mean, I'll say yes, Boniface. But going forward, I believe we've learned greater lessons.
Okay.
And I keep saying, 2028, all things being equal, we will come to power. The issue is, I will say, you can't quarry. There were so many groupings on to Abama. Mbebunu pension for. Just name them. Yeah, I call for disgruntled MPP for. Now, the challenge I have now is, so now quickly, call for a position almost promote a candidate for presidential. As for MPship, the over there, yeah, Dawson, we believe in. But if you ain't me hele wounds, yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty crooning.
Yes, next start to say, oh, we are not so called where. Midway, that is where total dislocation, Baba. I believe, sir, we need to be truthful to ourselves. Minya spoke about delegate election. I've brought in fantastic ideas. How come, sir, Obia Yejuma police station ni edu album so ne ye nefimu because the MP, the chairman, and whoever, because sir. Only now our electoral area na polling station no ye adwuma no sebio omunim so on to Abama minti na o makafa obi a over different constituency
no dey be shame.
Yes. Yes, into obehwe your album no. Look, we have albums at NDC ni ewo album ni mu.
I want to central.
Yes. And then me your album we hwe mu a lot of people sebio omo ye party omo ntiase they only know say or be a delegate. Omo friend polling station. Omo jai sa polling station. Into omo delegate a transactional. What you say? Now, Obia, which if you're a student of or a learner of leadership, transactional leader, a cut off. Onya ne faso pe no ano no. Into no on do echi house to house on ko.
Go party ni na come.
Yes. There was 715 polling station way. I can count the number of Nkofo ye kwa house to house and no DH. Because ye over 200 from the previous album. Because wako contest we say 1-2 amount. But the person a resident your friend is saying police station onu so no nim we. Now the next way okwa obedu echi.
7.3.
Now Penny be brought up fantastic. As I said in Chasuna, yeah, mama polling station for old ones na ye omo efim no. Yeah, for one count. No more ye nim say onipa no on your party ni ye omo efim. So that we have a mega way. So nia ni bu efu no. In fact, the issue another came say obi oya card bearing member. But if you remember, NDC try I'm reverse here because they realize say
I'm what
Kovubia akenya card almost the transactional. Look, I say delegate, me use delegate. On waka TV. Me need to fee on waka TV on your Then December 7th.
You expecting me a manager TV this time?
That is what it's also part of Kofua. So that is what I will say now we should be truthful to ourselves. Yeah, mama, a crow, whatever, and Haley. Let us come together. Let us believe, said, look, then we should allow people to have a voice. Because me share lawyer Buama said Chinchon do no ko post okwo for no ko to wi a yeah micro polling station for we are just a fraction of the total the voting now got to abano. Our biggest way was about 200 and something thousand.
Okay.
Yes. The 200 something thousand. What if it's 6 million more? Our real vote is 6 point something million. What if it's just a fraction of it? So let us allow the system to work. Yanja and Kwafo to have their own say. Let us listen to the ground. If you call Tama Central, you call Efia, you call Kwesimintim, you call Bibia. Let us ask. Kwafo say, you call Tuaba. And Yamfa opini kwa na yamfa we. And about your friend is saying, you see, there's other people. We need everybody on board. But in Kwafo be only on bar deductions.
And one for Mama Cranky.
Yes. We've seen it. We've seen it because only in our bar a destructive force. Oba how I drink no cross no be spending almost all your energies on. Today I was parliament something. I went to the office, the MP's office. It's a foundation. Then I thought so. Your was school fees ABR 5 EB. School fees 52. The first bill you work here 133. So we need to have it because also but you see the good thing is that we are bringing everybody home. We don't ask say and we MPP ni and NDC ni all that you better MPP for no but say you should be that is the policy you see at the atour. Into young MPP we need to start I'll say attracting call for me my fear see and say how come the youth so muswe echo baby fufro. But the youth, you know, yana ya free SHS. Yana ya digitization. What has happened? We need to reach out to them. I'm gonna a backbone. And then we need to move the extra mile as a party to allow people to work.
107.3.
Because obi on person the position ti onim say CF back closer papa obeji the position I think. We should leave that because we need power. And we need to commit to that exercise so see any power no. In I'll continue pleading with our beloved MPP for your boys in please. Monfan chai monfiamo kekewo wankpa fai. Yes ro bibia. That's it.
Ramba me 20 lines and he said, no, person can you now.
Oh, just to add the most I can bring you as a party into this situation where we have to come to power in 2020. Only negotiable. Winning power in 2028 is not negotiable. But a Jumana or Dahonum, I'm pleading with national executives that immediately after the committee complete their work, they should have a roadmap in terms of Abakwan Yebe Fada, you be close here in ranks. You see, at times, when we even do our elections, particularly when we are in power, okay, when we are in power, like it happens, also, you better orphan constituencies.
Yeah.
Baby, certain MPs one year too. A honum so na problems the one. Because a one problem because orphan constituencies so no obi any ho. It obi win biano. Onye too much of a difficulty coming together and working. But where you keep the incumbent seat till the last moment, na say shake up baho, na changes ba. Within that 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, then if it becomes very bitter, there is no way you can do any effective reconciliation. I'm imagining the primaries across with reasonable time. Last time we were saying, in fact, there should be an opportunity for the party to even know those with intention to contest ahead of time. Why? In my constituency or in
107.3
election, maybe in the next 3 years. Within 1 year, 2 years before the election, there should be clarity on the ground. Then let's do the vetting of those candidates and then have it there. Though the nomination has not been open, these are the people that have intentions to contest. And then close it there. Look at those people, charge them to support the constituency and its functions.
Of course.
So you don't leave the burden on one person as the MP or as somebody who is now ono shepati na that and it also helps in, I believe, in competition. So even if you are 4 or 5,
healthy competition.
If you win 4 or 5, I can call on all those people for us to share thoughts and minds as to how to build the party space. Then time no sooner say elections are only leave it to those who are going to vote to make that decision. But by that time, no, we would have all energized the party. That is the little I want to. One, let's make sure that we are able to open up and make the primaries one and all. That's like orphan and the sitting MPs. Enough time for people to heal and go. And then secondly, let's be able to, ahead of time, get people to give us notice or intention to contest. And then close it and let us move on.
Merasio 057-777-1073. 057-777-1073. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
About your dinner, be at free.
Oh, your family Benji, make us a fisherman from 7.
Benji, be back ye too. When you are.
Miss Yami, honorable, transporting. MP Papa, the Naba. You need to obey Jima, Amaye. Now, maybe the American say, I think I'll find young people who say MP for the do the idea book long. So be boy, yeah, boy, and that say, oh, we for certificate to draw, but you really a year Juma. Any account certificate, oh, say, but minimum honorable transport is your no, all man, yes, sir. Is your no, I didn't have an yes, sir. MPP for you now, Mumayan Tambo. Now, yes, I am who are here. Now, you are no one to Abba, Yamame nomne, Yanamon get to Ano. Yan word, man, yes, I am word, bro.
Merase Benji, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Me patrol did be at and free.
Yes, and I can say, Daniel.
Man is so kakama, mammy too.
For him, Pacho, MPP telephone. A young studio on us a woman here.
107.3.
Program me, yeah, not some doors. They say, men are not people in Tenwaha on firm people in the agro. There's only almost a on tea. Well, for some doors why?
No, Ted. Hello, good evening.
Oh, pro the beer.
One also did. Now, I come into you.
But no more about it. No more MPs, the new station, or no more about Papa, and then send part or Waka. Now, Brian, let me how we make me MPP die hard. Me yet, Mama MPP, and I don't, and I mean, not a MPP. Brian, you're paying for a bit more thing. When is that me, Mammy, a tertiary? Now, me let a party office say, young children school say you. Go school over Tamale, good year. Me pay hostel fee, and Colombian, we only go the mommy. 2,000 Ghana cities. 2,000 Ghana staff for safety. I make them school a year. Now, they have said, bringing in a year committee, a yatia, never pop Professor Makukwe, and a down, bringing more how. The same thing said, Dominic. Papa Makukwe count and you listen to the cabinet seat. She Makukwe Junior or not a contest or a collection. A day at 2 about them. Oh, the other a Kufuado, a Kotaba, or Buaka, Chebi. Or by no Baba die. When 2 princess Bia, and 2 princess that don't come in. You have Professor Makukwe, ever, I, the second by the Bannet Counter, a Bayana, or the Cobat Bano. The best said, but to me. No, Pia, continue. You know, because the book of the Yan City, and told him, I bet you fear 2020.
Medasi, hello, good evening.
Hello.
Oba, we didn't be at cafe.
Yeah, Mamia Clagon.
Oba,
before show me here, if you MP, Mamma Quaba, the new door you juma. No walk to Munanizin. On no ye, Munan and God period. Nana Kurantin. King Ata, Kurantin. Michelle. Must not better talk idea, Michelle. Insist for what no the number bigger. No, no more to do me there. We friend the Debian Lamia you. It is a review schools here. To me, I am a day. Yanni got to have a bunny in see one more chum. No one see a medium millionaire. Oh, Yamiatum. No one here. One so much here, woman here. Medasi.
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
I will try with you.
Bono, oh boy, do my papa. Nabaya, time no less.
7.3.
My boy, I send your mountains are basso papa, or boy, Duma or parliament. They say a silent or NDC for no. Now, majority leader or him. Yantin cow. Almost can't say, your minority keep way or parliament is Dino. On that near running over yes, so on. Ya running over Musukra, ya boy Juma, my bona basso papa, or ya the uncle to no boy Juma. Medasi.
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
Good evening, boy.
Maybe I told you about your tea and coffee.
7.3.
Maybe I told me too.
Boy, Patrol, MPP supporters, no. Mum, you so far, and your man say, ya dream near Trim say, Sabi, me or Mac, and you know, they be as the same to Mamiska. As I say, women discuss. As a woman discuss. Young guys have you know, young guy, may bro him, may be a sick of life with that. The near big that. It is hard you know to was an interview on Cotuaba. Sabio, Empinabia, wooden a cheap, our Cotuaba man, our Mexico, for one cotton. She's Empin, what could let you. Busan who say, Pam Dana, who said the Panova Fasabe show. And let you, Martin. Huh? It is hard in Mummy free. Ni actually said the way a party debating our power. And then here,
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Maybe I told you about your tea and coffee.
I Kaswa.
About my meet you.
Good evening. Yeah, near see at all your color TV, I got black and white. William Ghana for ya Chinasi Mene and Kukunini and their two Gosia, Amayen. Medasi.
Yeah, big way they are no wedding. Now, can you son to Kusiana? Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Patrol did be at tea and coffee.
Because of free to quite
to meet you.
President, no, so I'm back to my own function, Yansan. I'm 4 years. No, you're best of your ma. Your best young Yansan, say MP, a man is cut away, a man is carried. Now, I see a better scam on me, you know, Mutapana. None of it here. Hello.
Atumpan.
Now, Ubanya family. Well, Ubeto, Ukobia, Utraka Mutia, what could do no one. I don't hear here and put one here. Then Jessica. No, I'm put on here near Tiano. I'm here near Tiana, this is Tintraska. Oh, movie, or my baby, Madame.
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
Good evening, I said Grace, Dakuman.
Auntie Grace, meet you.
You, good evening, Patrol. Yam dryness is here, no Cassaria, and the many yards in Papa. Maybe I can't be Grace in Quad, dear, said it. They can't have to say, Obia, Betty Nation. What can you? No. And so can we? It's the Papa wherever. Now, free education, or better more bad than you. But I put a baby to mention about. It's no obligation about. The Batman in the Bahamas today. And to me, we pay. Objection about Pasha Medasi.
Miss Medasi, hello, good evening.
No.
Maybe I told you about your tea and coffee.
Bring regular color.
Nana, meet you.
ɛyɛ strong ɔmo kɔ ɔmo nka nkyɛn mpanyinfo no sɛ MPP vigilantes fo no na bi ɔmo wɔ biara ɔmo kɔ nkɔpa ɔmo kyɛw na ɔmo nsa ɔmo hyɛ ɔmo adwuma so because 2028 aba yɛ bɛto no yɛn mfa ndi agorɔ sɛnɛ yɛde wei atutu nneɛma na NDC fa yɛ sɛ MPP mpanyinfo no de bi wɔ hɔ a ɔmo yɛ ɔmo nso ɔmo dɔ pati ɔmo dɔ pati sɛ wɔn bi na ɔyɛ MP o amanjɛ ti na MPP fɛ na ɔmo fi fi ano wɔyɛ sɛ nso ɛnsɛ ɛfufa do regime yi sɔfɔ ɛmu sɛ ɔmo adiposu odi wiye na MPP ko posu wɔsi wɔyɛ anu fɛn yi ada na osu ne kaa sɛ ago yɛ NDC oni nyinaa MPP mpanyinfo no bi wɔ hɔ a yes initially si na ɔmo yɛ sɔmi sɔpɔtɔ da ɔmo mpɛ MPP yɛ a yɛ wɔ ase no bɔnyere ne sɛnɛ mi do MPP paa Oba mi tell me what to move MPP back in the table. MPP is 10, 10% of us, and I'm just 10% MPP extra power. You know, yes, I'm here to add yes, I'm the judge, mommy, our profession. So, yes, I'm on your committee, attack them. I'm on the party there, and I was. Some are your money for what they or back of Egan, and you have to be Lucian or Gusu or I'm a family. Adi ọmụ ba yes ọmụ shempi fọ no ọmụ ka Ghana ọmụ de Ghana adwuma na ọyẹ but mo wọni nku party na de ọba yẹ no wọni nku ọmụ ho nyame nka mo.
Mesmera say hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Patrol din ba bi ate en kafri.
Ebe ni o.
Ebe me patrol metie o.
Me say honorable Okujata Dafa. Sana ono ye corrupt ni obia. What dan FCDM a ye bisa o say orenti. E ho in Dallas. Into orenti dan e ho tax in Colombia. So you put in no obisa se miyansa na ma miyansa. Ye bisa me say o tu kwanya o the economy le be for na say o the we say le be for Lọ́tọ̀ ó bẹ́ pàtọ́tọ̀ náà ọjà fa ọtí mi ansa náà má mi ansa na ti ẹ̀ka tẹ̀mí nfa wèé ṣe yà ẹ̀ka mi sẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ sáàkì à ẹ̀dì ẹ̀ ọ̀bẹ paako. Ìsẹ́mu a ọ̀kíkà tó Ekufo Addo so no President Ekufo Addo so no ẹ̀nẹ́ afábàá na èyí ọmọ àǹkàtà. Ìtìmí ní Amẹ́ka ní sẹ́ MPP fún yẹn jìnnà na yẹn kúnkó yẹn ní. Yan ye zuma ya ti e no parliament on mo MPP for e na mo ya de yes someone some for vetting committee ne to no my brother my brother I'm putting questions ni my yen.
I say hello, good evening. Good evening. Radio setting conform. We didn't have ate en kafri.
E ka sa film sa mama.
Mama mpatwiti o.
Mempi na wo no e fia kwesiminti mempi a. Ni MP na me nhyira waate bibia re bia no be ye na mmom no yem kasepa na youth na wo no won won no won ye adumanye me brown kase no bona ine na America ne se bisia sa living party na aba abesu no me ya no wo ye dan akoko se no mo ali di won ko fon so mo nkoko no eno aso mo ye parliament no Nsema obi anwo anya obi anwo afei ma kan munyina na munya ejuma no yenim se ommeye mana yie me da ase
Smeda say hello, good evening. Me ba chodin ba bi ate en kafri.
Me di Patrick me kasate skisu.
Meet you Patrick.
Masa mi ensa. Anta number 1. If MPP for no se won betu aba, won ma bia ni ndaho. Won ma bia ni ndaho ni ndaho. Say bufuri nyina beko sa suma se gano ne ye support we no era na eno ne mane mane bafa no ya tusu mie no so say obi ya bibi wo party ma won to wo boa sa so no ma take action atwas na ya take action ya pam we no eno ya mwa ana no ma tren so sanya obi kan no se penyifu no ba brofuru dofu e ben gedi se wo mu fi a wo mu kanisa so wanya betra sa kuku de brofa kasi esa ni pani ntia se bere na watinia wo kana se no wato ababa mete ma mpese me kan
that's it. Hello, good evening, last caller.
Good evening.
Me patro din ba bi ate en cafe me patro ma min tu fi body ase
asema na makuba kan wan ka se ti ama obesto at least yes we say obi a nso yɛ dwuma bɔ no so wa yes you say bi asa it needs president or bi amfa nti ebe ne bomo kan pa anya lu sie no omo kan pa to man se anya salia and ya ga ya so bye bye.
Merasi, Honorable Isaac Buama Nyakon, lawyer. Ebi say yensa mfa vigilante groups no. Imura MPP ni build your muye. One of my dream. Nafi, you find out what's name, sorry.
For me, I'm a main cadre way vigilante group, so a party ma.
Okay.
Wobwa yen abribia yen ansa na ye tu woni si wa wobwa yen bambo na yen amayo sema ye odube bi o edina wogina pintin wode mayen. I agree mijitum de woma dem iku no ana dem nipa no nyina wombra back na yen boom na yen ma won edwuma titini na na wobwa yen ma ye ehwe elections ya ye kwe ya intimidation na NDC for ye na no ye den mankasa me constituency onye de parliamentary candidate me aye den na me collation center de da na wo ye no edan na echi no se enye benyina ahwe ya ebeja honum na akona ma no wesiwesi ti mejitum as a party the woman yenhwe baby a yefumi bia with those groups na yetitiwe ni na yentwe won nyina bra na yembebom so that at the end of the day this year pembe yinfum wagina waka ye ho na ye protect ye ballot in at the party ni so ye tudo nya ho wa endem.
Merasi, Honorable Charles Wilson. Yes, sorry, Tema Central.
Obiani. I said I mean can say vigilante group. I'm a party mba. I'm a vigilante. But earlier American BB say we've never paid a good price for loyalty.
Okay.
We need to accord them that respect. Na Juma, I keep saying, Mbe Bruno, I'll say a pay Juma mom pa. Your opposition though, but I'll say a try. We need to show good faith by helping them because you see, I offer be some but to what extent? Because minutes ago, in the power, say I'm warm. Let us set the trust. Yen build the trust, no. Na yen pay Juma ma yen be Bruno. I'm one boy Yechidom. But yes, Rom. Yes, Rom.
Chiana Chi
Mombra na ye Osnuko Krono. It's a winning symbol. Yena yembe ejumapano.
Merasi, Honorable Charles Forson, MP for Tema Central. Thank you very much for coming. Now, for Honorable Isaac Buama Nyakon, lawyer, Asaasepa, Ifia constituency, Mrasibijani, and no.